I don't know where the blazer went. Joe's not wearing the blazer anymore. He's hung up the blazer. I guess it's not cool enough. What's going on? It's not cool enough in here. Joey Shivers is not feeling cold enough to put the blazer back on. So blazerless Joey options. Go get them, boys. Where's every day not to wear
Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. That is your boy, Joey Options, and he is not Mr. Shivers today. My man is warm. I am Sharif, and welcome everyone to the midday show. We're going to wait for everyone to come on over from the big boy morning show so we can shut them out, but as we always do, we got a couple of early birds here. Shout out to Cristobal and Darwin, the OG, dancing up a storm, and Blackhawk JP, the world's greatest freaking mod. Bears versus Bulls. Shout out to you. Skull, my man. Get it, man. Okay, there's a lot of small cap gappers, my man Skull. So we're going to be talking about those. We got Jacques, we got Juan, Vern, Charlie, Cold King, Blue Army, Gorev. Yeah, it's your boy right there. Both our boys. Felipe. Yeah. Mika and Marcos Morales. How about Chris B and Trader Revolution? Shout out to Big Finesse and Bot Ricks. Mary, Scott J, Hunter. We got Stuart. We got Elon Musk. And then we got Evan as well. Shout out to Alberto. And the good news, I bring good news. People brought good news to my door a few days ago. Jack's Money. You guys don't get that? All right. Neil, yo, you got Yorkie. We got Pax. We got 1320. Oh, we got Ahmad. We got Orge, Dallas, Nelk. How about TX Trader and Emma? We got MLN and Showtime. Who else? Andrew Chow. We got Hytham, Dexter Smith, Meep, John Von Saunders, the most polite individual out there. I will not be convinced otherwise. How about Palm Beach Peter and Kirk D. Joseph, Juan Padilla. We already said that one. Joseph Schmo. Last one here. I gotta do this, a special one.
Do it.
Shout out to my man, China. Shout out to Ozan. We will be reading e-signal shortly, so just hang tight with us, Ozan. Shout out to everybody on this Monday morning. Fantastic day to start. You know, you wake up, the market's green, everything's gravy.
Yeah, gravy.
How you doing today?
Good. I'm good. Well, I mean, we're red to start this day. We had some good attempts earlier. Sometimes you just got to take what the market gives you, but that's all right. I mean, with a big gap up, guys, I'm still sitting in some of these NVDA swing and IBIT swing, but I think I'm going to close out a little bit more here on IBIT because I think I'm not saying that we're not going to climb to those all-time highs, but this isn't kind of the news that I was looking for IBIT, but here we are. We tried QBTS. That was the thesis. I wanted to trade some of these quantum stocks and look for the continuation. So you can see on my first entry here, oh, by the way, happy weekend. I hope everyone had a solid weekend and watched some UFC. But yeah, I mean, rough start on this Monday, but we'll just keep these losses small here. This is my last attempt on the long on IBIT. I'm not going to go any more on that. I don't think it's going to be a long anytime today. But anyways, back to QBTS. Enter here. Nice position sizing. Double it up, triple it up, and then it just didn't work. Usually our stop would be at that low of the day there. But we had some, I went and looked at the options chain 12. There is some open interest, but I was looking for a couple more pennies to head to the top of the pre-market range here, and we just didn't get that. So yeah, we took out a full stop there. Again, started really small once again and got stopped out. Third attempt here. I'm taking a fourth, which I know I shouldn't be because my accuracy just drastically goes down the drain at this point. But if we crack through this low, then we'll get out of that. But here we go. Start small, double it up, and then we add a little bit more here for the continuation. But we didn't get any of that there, Sharif. So it's not looking too good for this quantum breakout that I was suspecting. But that's okay. We'll hold on to this. 11:15, we crack it, then we'll just go 0 for 4 on QBTS. And that's what happens sometimes, man. I'm telling you guys straight up. It's not always roses and sunshine, unfortunately, here in the markets. You got to accept these losses. We keep them small because when we win, we try to win a significantly bigger share.
Well said, man. That's exactly it. Keep your winners bigger than your losers. Anil did a fantastic midday lesson on that, and I hope everybody was around to listen for that. Obviously, we all know that that should be the case, but, you know, some of the nuances that come with that, he did discuss at length, and I thought that was a banger there. So I think that's from last week. I'm not exactly sure which day, but you can weasel back to around that 12 o'clock. stock time slot and find it for yourselves, guys. All right, we're long a couple of names over here to start the show. WRD. Great looking chart on WRD. A lot of respect here for the 10 EMA. Alas, we did get into that 1049, and we have been putting in a bit of a sell. A bigger red candle did manifest right at that 1055 time slot now, or sorry, the 11. Now we're on the 1105 candle. I got in long, excuse me there, the advertisers are blocking my view. 1011, I wet the beak there at 1015, next profit taker at 1020, but you know how I roll. We're looking for dip trades here, so I'm looking for a move into the 10 exponential and a hold of that general $10 area. On WRD, it's up 25 high percentage points over here. Let's find out some information on it. The information is I've got nothing. No, I'm kidding. Of course, I've got plenty. I've got the float, about 492 million shares. I don't, sadly, have the short float. Allow me to look on my other platform here to just compare the two data points. So my platform is not giving me anything. And WeRide is the company, obviously, $2.86 million market cap and moving up quite nicely on the day. So keeping an eye on that one, looking for that dip trade into 10. Still haven't gotten it. Got into WULF as well for a volume weighted average price retracement, but this is going to have to hold VWAP. This is a VWAP trade and really nothing other than that. But it's this one, INHD. The biggest and the baddest gapper in the market right now. It just opened up from a halt, and here we go. We're at $12. It's zigging, it's zagging, it's very aggressive right now. Trade this carefully. I'm looking for a pullback maybe into the 70s. It's not giving us that. It's not breaking through 12 either. So we are rejecting 12 initially here on INHD. It's up 127%, or when it was. There we go. So it breaks 12. Now it's really flying. It's going to halt to the upside here. 1264 high a day. Keep your eye on this one. It didn't halt. So that was an initial rejection of that level. So yeah, this one's really going right now. You're going to have to get this on the micro pullbacks. Look for a hold at 12. If it loses 12, reset again, possibly at $11. But this is taking out all the levels, Joseph. It's got all gas, no brakes right now. Here comes $13, $12.95 now high a day, up 131%. Excuse me. It's really going over here back down into 12. Is this a money fill? We're going to give this one the old community college try and see if we can get something into the high. Anything below $12, though, I will stop out of this one. So I'm just giving it that room. So we'll go ahead and do just that. Let's set up some beak wetters possibly over here on our friend. Boom! It's taking out highs, baby. It's taking out freaking highs. Here we go. We're going to take out more over here. We got 50s. We just got 13s. Let's set up some more on this monster. I've got a couple of outs left, so keep your eye out on this one. INHD is flying to the high side right now, guys. Great look on that one. Keep your eye out for it. All right, back into WRD. So I did get the beak wet there. Now we've got a fundamentally better cost basis. That's what I love. Planned dollar cost averages. There we go. We'll wet the beak there some more on WRD. Still holding some shares on this one, looking for a bigger move up. I've got a beak wetter at 20 that still hasn't filled, guys. And we're getting that beak wet. And I hope everybody on that side of the monitor is printing up multiple storms. The better you guys do, the more pleased I get. That's why you guys are here. I'm not here for myself, Joseph.
Oh, bang, bang, and bang. Ending it with a mic drop there, guys. Yeah, nice work there, Sharif. 0 for 4 on QBTS. So guess what, guys? It's not on the chart anymore. And I'm not being stubborn or anything, just following the rules. Not in sync with the stock, so that's fine. A lot of should, coulda, wouldas on this front, but we're not going to leave it at that. So there he is. We're going to find something else. We'll see what NVDA is up to here, guys. There might be a tough day for the longs as displayed here earlier in the today's session. So going to be patient. Don't forget I have risk measures to abide by. And full disclosure, I'm down a little bit more than half my shutdown right now. So I don't always love that, like to keep it tight. But again, 1 or 2 solid trades, your boy's right back in the game. So going to be patient. Not going to be trading the quantum space today anymore. I took my 4 stabs at it. Adios, muchachos. We're going to find something else that has relative strength. And with that being said, guys, let me know if there's any strong stocks. You see what Sharif is doing over there. We're
doing it live, Joseph. We're doing it freaking live again on IHD, man. It just took out 13s. There we go, Joseph. We'll just keep scalping this, man. Dang. Every time it comes into that micro pullback, we're going to pick some more up. We're doing it live. Initially, I got in at around the $0.50. Wet the beak, wet the beak, wet the beak. It did dip down. We were holding some. I added on the dip below 13, and then it skyrocketed to the high side, by the way. So we'll just give a little bit back there as it drops into 12. I did flatten out, didn't look at the position board, so we did give back some there, guys. A bit of a mistake by me there on INHD, excuse me, I did this last week too, where the ticker's a little bit of a bamboozler. But my issue is here, I hit the flatten key, didn't look at the blotter, and I was still holding the piece, so that's a little bit on me, but I still think this one is still in play. And let's see if we can get a decided break of that $13 area. We did get above into 13.40, Joseph, but that was as good as we could do. That is technically the high of the day there. So here we go, right back up into 13. Can we take out this level? Wait for the micro pullbacks, guys. Try not to punch in it at high. So waiting for a bit of a move back here. Let's see if we can get in a little bit more. There we go. Send it to you, my man.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely manage that trade accordingly, Sharif. I love seeing that. Yeah, quantum space not in play. RGTI looking to pull it back a little bit here. We're now south of the volume weighted average price and heading towards that lower day here, guys. Now, I just want to tell you kind of my trade plan that I had in these quantum spaces. You can see that with QBTS, just doing some basic TA over the weekend, QBTS at near that pivot high. And you can see with RGTI, we now gapped up through some key resistance zones. So I was looking for that gap and go continuation, especially on that positive news there. So unfortunately, we didn't get that. That's okay. We're going to be patient. There might be another day. See, that's the thing with the market. Your thesis may be correct, but your timing just slightly off. And I think that's a massive skill to acquire is that, okay, it's not working right now. It's not working right there, right now. And then boom, when it starts working, you start just slamming shares heavy, and that's exactly what we've been doing in our swings and our intraday trade. So I'm honestly not even phased at all that the fact that I'm down slightly more than half my shutdown, because I know if I have one solid setup that works out for me, it's going to wipe out the majority of my losses. It may not be a full one. I had multiple opportunities to be green today, just didn't. I was like, no, I was looking for that extended move, didn't get it. Sometimes you have to take what the market gives you, but when you're trying to swing for the fences, Sharif, you got to hold on to those positions, and that's exactly what I did here in QBTS. Didn't work out. Scared money don't make any money, guys, so that's why we're holding on to it. And when we lose, net trades down 35K, well, guess what? I already know for a fact, if you have the ability to lose $35,000, you have the ability to make more than $35,000. So just keep patient. Don't tilt out. Don't rush anything. Be patient, and then eventually you're going to find that setup. And that's exactly what's happened. I waited for that NVDA setup. What do? We buy more shares, we buy more contracts, and then we sell into strength. Bitcoin starts working. We buy more shares, we buy more contracts, we sell into strength. That's it. Before, you guys seen me live on air get squeezed out 1,500 smackers on some short Tesla calls. Well, bang, you seen me post some stuff on Twitter, on X the other day, made significantly more, plus the unrealized gains. So that's the name of the game that we play. You get hit, you just got to hit harder, Sharif.
I love it. Absolutely, man. We're keeping an eye on these markets over here. I'm trying to work my way into another one, SOUN. What a fantastic look this one has on the day. The NVIDIA adjacent name up 25%. Trying to work my way back in here to INHD, though, because this one doesn't look like it's given up the ghost quite yet. Higher highs and higher lows. Really aggressive look. So there we go. We go long again at 18s. Let's see if this one can clear 13 on a decisive basis. It's having trouble taking out 13. We kind of seen this story before. So I'm trying to get the money fills in the lower end. So let's go ahead and wait around here for a possible money fill. It does dip into that $12.50 area. Here we go. We're back into 13 land over here, but we're definitely having some trouble taking out the $0.25. I've got 18s on. It's showing me 25s. So let's be careful here. Still leaving my dip trade active where I perceive the money fills to be coming in again in the mid $12. Now we're kind of starting to get that bid creep where this moves down incrementally. Where it finds that level that it's just rejecting at. Back into 13s again we go. So still 5 pennies out of the money on this. Still don't want to give too much back over here, but definitely want to be involved with the big parabolic break should it happen. So definitely keeping an eye on this. There we go. Oh my goodness gracious, good goodness. It's just taking out levels, bro. It's taking out levels. Here we go above the $0.50. We're going to wet the beak there again, Joseph. This one is the gift that keeps on giving. 1370 high day. Let's wait now. now in the 50s. Let's see what this one does. Sadly, did not get that money fill though that we were talking about there. Boom to the high side again, Joe. We'll take out more up in this place. So definitely still holding some here, but don't want to give too much back. And I have to monitor these other trades that have got on. We've got WRD and WULF. 18's on here on INHD. Let's set up at 75 now. Here we go. We're going back up into the 50s. What level do I have over here, Joseph? I got 58. So let's go ahead and wait 1388. Let's see if we can take out something there. 69. Boom to the high side, Joseph.
The show is over.
We take.
It's over.
It's over.
You know, what is the Vince Carter?
Oh yeah, yeah. That was Shaq. Who was that?
No, it was Vince Carter on the dunk competition.
It was everybody.
Over.
Oh, baby. All right, guys, it's over. All right, Adara's got actual news for us, not just yelling and hype. No, I'm kidding. Adara, what's up?
I mean, I can yell at hype as well if you'd like, but right now we're going to take a look at the NASDAQ here as we get more comments from Feds Kugler, who's been speaking now for almost an hour. Right now, she's saying that she still expects an increase in prices and a slowdown in the economy, though not at the same rate as before. And she did weigh in here on these, I guess, tariff reductions or tariff pause between U.S. and China. She said the reduction is, quote, obviously an improvement as far as trade between countries goes, but that their tariff, which is about 30% here now, the tariff that the U.S. has on China, is, quote, still pretty high. So Feds Kugler kind of more mixed here than she was earlier today. Some of her earlier comments did come off a little bit more hawkish. Either way, Feds Kugler definitely seeing there is still some things to be concerned about when it comes to tariffs here, guys. Back to you.
Thank you there, Adara. Yeah, great look, guys. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I thought, sorry. Yeah, do you want to go over everything?
No,
okay, all right, yeah. Exactly what Sharif just said to me. We got to go over some of these super chats here, guys, because they're coming in hot. Girl Dad, $4.99. It's going to be 122. Palantir's 122 today. Meow, join the party. All right, not too sure about what the meow is about, but we'll take it, Girl Dad. Thank you for that one. 118 and change there on Palantir with a high of 123.49. Good look there on that front. Net trades. My guy took a hit today, but he's still standing strong. Says, thanks for the advice. Let's go, Net Trades. Brush it off. Tomorrow's going to be a new day. Go out and enjoy it. I don't know where you're located, Net Trades, but here in Toronto, it's an absolute face slapper of a day. It's going to be tarp off. I'm red and I'm still giddy. So it doesn't even matter, man. We can always get it back. The market will always give you endless opportunities to put on some solid trades, and it's our job to just make them that much better. But I want to lead into something that I was briefly just telling Sharif about, and I thought about it this morning as well too. So everybody just please listen up. We see our trades all the time, all right? Maybe you now get where I'm at. You see it all day live. You see us post our trades on X. You see us display them, our winners, our losers, and everything. Enough of Sharif and I want to start seeing your guys' trades. All right? And how are we going to do that? This is what I want you guys to do. I want you to start DM me at TraderTVJoseph, right here at TraderTVJoseph. DM me your trades, and I'm going to go through a list of the trades. Whoever DMs me their trades, we're going to go through some of them, and I'm going to display them live on air. If you're a regular, send me your trade, because I'm going to be like, this is such and such work today. He's put in a fantastic job, win or lose, but also put in some brief descriptions on your charts. This is my stop loss. These are my profit targets, entry, etc. So go ahead, DM your boy, Joseph at Trader TV. We're going to go through some of your trades live right here today, Sharif.
Sorry, just give me one more
absolutely.
second.
He's managing a position, absolutely. So there it is. I'm not sitting in anything right now. NVDA might be the potential long here for me. I'm going to be patient, wait for this pullback through the volume-weighted average price. I mentioned we have 150,000, over 150,000 strike prices. Open contracts at 120 strike. Right now, the market makers are offside. All right, so that's not looking good. But if we can squeeze here, we might just go absolutely through the moon. I talked to you guys about my thesis before, and here it is. I'll say it one more time because a lot of people in the chat are asking me. They're asking me for my X account, and here it is. So start sending those trades through. I'm going to go through the list of them. I'm going to go through the best trades. I want to hear your thesis. I want to see your stop loss and everything, because we're going to go over what you guys have been trading here today, and we're going to show you, display it live on Trader TV Live, and say, hey, so-and-so has done a fantastic job, guys. So get those trades sent over to me, and we're going to do some trade reviews, boys. You good to go there, my friend?
Yes, sir.
Let's
yes,
go.
sir. Just holding on for a piece here. We will get stopped out, though, if this one loses the bid at 13. So, yeah, well, we'll give back a little bit over here on our friend INHD. It's all right. You know, getting a little sweaty up in this place, but it's okay there. We'll keep a little bit on the board. Okay, so keeping my eye on the next one, WULF. This one kind of curling off that volume weighted average price. Just took a beak wetter there at 50s and now trying to take some out at the mid 50s. So we'll set up a profit taker there. Looking also now for WRD. This one, we did get the money fills, I believe, in the low 90s. Still respectful of the 10 exponential moving average on the 5, but, you know, kind of a 3-candle dead look right now, which is not what I'm looking for. Especially if this one wants to be a bit of a, you know, I don't want to say a parabolic trade, but it's up 25%. It's got a couple of bull flags under its belt, so keeping an eye on that. What do we got on? We got 7s and we're long 97. So only 10 pennies in the money. It's certainly no INHD, but giving us a possible move up here. So the best profit taker I think I took out on the day was 13s, and now we're back into 10s. So we're only 3 pennies in the money at the moment. So a bit of a tougher one right now on WRD. I'm trying to decide whether to get out here. It still hasn't lost the 10, but it feels like it will lose the 10. And if it does, there's a substantial amount of room between the 10 EMA and the volume weighted average price, which would be the next level that I pick it up at. That's around 9.5. Actually, a little bit more than 9.5, about 9.55, give or take. So I think I'm just going to pack my patience on this one. What I can do is I can look at that bar at 11.10. That bar at 11.10 has a low of 9.93. So I've got 97s on. That means I can give it about like 4 pennies. So I can go 9.92, 9.91 stop. That's about 10 pennies from where we are. And if I ended up giving back some, we end up giving back some. That's kind of the situation with that one. So that's on WRD. I've got 3 beak wetters left on this. I'm going to go ahead and change my stop placement on that, and we're going to go 9.91. We'll give it down to 85s in case it does lose the bid quite aggressively. Keeping an eye on INHD, it's really coming down substantially now. 1471 area high, and then all of a sudden we've got, you know, this big move down into about 1291. So be careful with this one, guys. It is starting to lose the bid, and it's substantially lower than that substantially higher than that $11.50 area where both VWAP and the 10 exponential moving average on the 5 are. So, you know, this one could be a bit of an aggressive retracement here on INHD. Topping tail candle to boot, and then a red candle to make a lower low, breaching the previous area low of this topping tail candle. You've got a fantastic volume profile, though. Ooh. About 1 million shares per 5-minute candle here. So you're getting a lot of market participation in the name. So keep your eye out on this one if you're interested. Top W as well. TOPW. Fantastic look on this one. This one's, you know, it's got top G status up here, 585, looking to put in higher lows with a possible flat top break around that, again, 585 high day. What's notable to me about top W is it's got 4 candles that all reject off the same area. And again, that is the high of the day, 585. So you can feel that there's a seller of note here that the buyers can't really shake. Okay, so we just did shake them, excuse me. 586, now 594. So that seller got taken out, at least for the moment. So TOPW on its way to 6 pennies off that high. Excuse me, 2 pennies off the 6. 598 now the high. So we speak about this one while it's breaking out. TOP dub, fantastic look on the day. What is this up? It's up 54%. The issue with Top W is, believe it or not, $6 in all. It's still done less than 1 million shares, barely more than 750,000. It's only done 779,000. And you know, you may sound like that's a lot, but it's really not, especially for something gapping up 55%. It's on everybody's scanner, and by everybody, I mean people who trade these small cap gappers. Let's find a little bit about the company details over here, if it'll allow me. So Top Win International Limited, what the hell do they do? I got no information on him, believe it or not. Yeah, I got nothing. I got float of 2.66 million shares. I got nothing to compare that to, and I don't have a short float. So we're flying a little blind here with Top Dub, but hopefully not too dangerous of a name. All right, so that's my situation. INHD looks like it's going right back up here like a crazy person. Be careful with this one. It has support at $12, but it's mostly ranging between 13 and 14. And that has been the case since around that 11:10 candle today. So good luck for that one, Joseph.
Yeah, good look there, guys. All right, those DMs are coming in hot and fast and furious, guys. We're going to go over some of these trades momentarily. I'm just going through some of the good ones, and I like what I see. So don't forget to post the chart so we can display it, like buy and sell orders, etc. So thank you guys very much for participating in that, and we're going to be going over those trades very momentarily. So I like the looks of that, and fantastic work there from all of you. Love seeing it. But yeah, here we go, guys. NVDA continuing to climb. We're now above the volume-weighted average price. I like this on the 1 minute time frame, but it's time to zoom out. We are around 11:30, so I kind of want to condense all the data that's been given to me right now. So going to be patient. I'm going to use actually NVDL to get involved in NVDA. I believe if we're going to continue to climb higher. This guy is going crazy. You know what I noticed though? When I'm having a red day, you're green, and then the opposite, right?
Isn't that how it always is, bro?
Always
it
works.
always
But
is.
yo, honestly, show them what you got going on, and you can send it back.
It's going, bro. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Joseph.
Absolutely,
Top W is flying, guys. So we talked about this one at the right time. That 585 level just got blown through, Joseph, and now it's a 664. We were talking about this one $1 ago, man. Oh my goodness. So we just got the beak wet there at 55s. It did technically spike, as I mentioned, into 64. So you already know where I'm waiting. It's just the nature of the beast. We're going to go ahead. We're posting at 69. Come what may. Get it, Adara. Thank you. I appreciate you, Adair. I always appreciate your support. 664 HOD. Joseph, we were talking about this one about like 40%. 65%. And we're like 20 pennies off the freaking high.
You know what it is?
Yes, sir.
It's a storm. It's a money storm, my guy. Let's go.
Sorry to interrupt you, Doug.
No, absolutely, man. Hey, you know how it is. It goes either way. If I have a face slapper on or you have a face slapper, then it's like, okay, never mind. What you're doing is essentially irrelevant right now. We got to see that money being made. But no, great, fantastic stuff here, guys. Waiting for this pullback here in NVDA. My issue is here, let's pull up this 5 minute time frame. I'll pull it up so you can see this charting. We need to crack this downtrend, which it looks like we might have done here. We're sitting on the backside of it now, so we're going to be patient, wait for this retest, and then slowly start to allocate some NVDL shares. We don't want to punch in heavy right away. We wait for that pullback, and then once the thesis starts working, you heard Neil say it, I average into that winner and then expect it to work slightly more, but that also comes with the trailing of the stop as well, too. So keep that in mind. All right, guys, let's do it. You guys have been sending me fantastic DMs. I'm going to go over a couple trades right now, and we're going to don't worry about this. You can send them throughout the day. Don't rush. That's the thing, right? Don't rush. Just wait for your trade to work out because we want to paint pretty pictures here. We don't want to just send them so it can be displayed here. So make sure you're sticking to your game plan, and everything will work out, and you can most definitely send it to me, and we'll go over it. So throughout the whole day, we're going to be going through some of your guys' trades. So I'm going to pull up the first one here. Ooh, it looks like a nice position here from Christopher Bennett. So I don't want to butcher your name there or anything along those lines, but he's in something with a market value of around 12K. So nice work there. Ooh, today's return, he's up 15. He's up $1,500, so he's locked in some of that total return up 3,000. And it looks like he might be using Robinhood or something along those lines there, guys. So make sure you get those trades in. I want to see the charts as well. Where's that one I seen on with the buy and sells? Okay, we don't want to see that one there. We'll talk about that there later. Where did he put it? Oh, here we go. There's another one, a nice little trade right here from you guys. Tough to see some things there. I want to see those nice and orderly buy and sells. So we'll go through some more. Keep sending them in, guys. Fantastic stuff. Let's see what Adair's up to.
Bang.
Keep an eye on Carvana here. Josh Brown of Ritholtz Management and frequent CNBC contributor apparently announcing this is a new buy idea. Now, I want to mention, I've noticed lately there's been an account on X by the name of Oracle NYSE, and they've been actually getting these Josh Brown names before CNBC posts them. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. CVNA, Carvana moving a little bit here. But notice eBay did the same thing. A little bit of a pop when I first see this rumor circulate on X that Josh Brown has posted. Then it moves higher when we actually get the Josh Brown announcement on CNBC. So just be aware. I'm seeing this circulate right now. CVNA, apparently, potentially a new Josh Brown buy idea on CNBC. Watch out for that, Carvana. And back to you. Also, guys, before I send you back, I'm working on a whole bunch of infographics right now for TTV Research, and I'm looking for anyone ideas, any content you guys want to see. So tag me in the chat right now at Daryl LePage with any ideas you may have, and I will add them to my list. Back to you.
The market giveth, Joseph, and the market taketh away. All right, let's talk about what happened, what I did on this stock over here. This one did come back into 6. I liked it at 6. I picked it up there, and then we went the beak on the pop up. And I gave my stop I gave it 12 pennies, okay? I gave it from 82 to 70. That wasn't good enough. It blew through my stop. There was no liquidity, and now I'm caught in a downhole here on TOPW. That's the bad news. The good news is we're still above the 10, and we're still above VWAP, but barely. That's good news. Now, let's go back to some bad news. So I'm caught in a downhole at 558. I've got 6, so right away, I'm 42 pennies out of the money. Add to that the theoretical auction price, which is a dynamic level. It's constantly changing. So we'll end up seeing where this one opens up is 540. So it's already showing me that it's going to open up lower than where it halted. So yeah, very dangerous to trade. You know, I thought I had my stop given enough room. I didn't. So this one, you know, we're going to give back some obviously on and probably likely go negative on it now if it holds up in this way. So TOPW, 664, topping tail candle, boom, all the way back down in 558. We're caught in a down halt. It's still got a tap of around 539, 540. It blew through my stop. So bit of a tougher one right now, Joe. We're going to keep an eye out on this one.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that must have been a furious move to the downside there. Yeah,
dangerous.
Yeah, it was quick. So too quick to just hop out there. But yeah, let's go, guys. Let's see what we're cooking up here. Going to be patient. Let's go back to my QBTS trade just to see what and go over kind of everything once again. Because you guys know my style, right? Like if things are working, I just like continuously adding and trying to make the position as large as possible. And unfortunately, it just didn't work today. I had a lot of conviction within the setup there, guys, but it just didn't follow through. So that's okay. We're not going to cry over spilt milk or anything along that, are we? No. So again, it's just one single trading day. There's the unlimited, I guess. Even when after I'm off of this earth, there's going to be more trading. So we don't got anything to worry about on that front. But here we go, guys. Entry number 1 looking really good. There's a VPA signal right there. Oh. Add to the position, add. And then we just got stuck on those pre-market lows there, guys. We couldn't punch through them. And I had a couple opportunities to get out of the position, but I'm like, come on. I know, especially with this type of, with this news catalyst that we have, we can start cooking today. Ooh. And it's unfortunate that we get it. So we got stopped out. I'm like, okay, liquidity grab. We'll take another attempt here. Stopped out. We were really, really small on that front. I was being patient. And then, okay, I was like, okay, we're at that third attempt. And usually on that third crack, if you have the ability to sit on the backside of that downtrend, you can really start to move to the top side. And we didn't get that here. So you can see I was aggressive once again, and that didn't work out. And started small to see if we can cook. But there was no cooking available there. Lack of ingredients on that front. So it didn't work out for us on that one. But it is what it is, right? We have a good time about it. And then here's my IBIT trade as well, too, guys. IBIT. Man, Sharif, I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm so excited to get outside. Like, I'm outside people, right? Like, shout out to all my Jamaicans. We're outside people, and I just love the summer because I get to spend more time outside. And I was dog training Milo yesterday. My boy was smashing the leash training yesterday. It's been difficult walking him, but now he's just on fire. He follows me everywhere. So
you're doing a good job. That's
he's doing a good job.
You're doing a good job, bro.
Yeah. Well, I watched a lot of YouTube videos.
You got to get your info from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So I watched a lot of YouTube videos. We got training from and everything too. So I'm excited about that. But we're doing with the people on YouTube. It's like, be patient, keep doing his things. He was like kind of pulling and tugging on the leash and stuff. You would know with puppies. So I learned that like you just every time they like kind of stray away, a little treat.
There you go.
Eventually it comes in.
I never did that with my dog, the treat thing. But I see other people that do it, and like they just know when they did something good, they're gonna wait for that treat.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna be waiting next time, Joseph.
But see, one thing that I did, because we were outside all day, yesterday.
Yeah.
So I would psych him out, right? Like I would give him 3 treats in a row, let him do his thing, call him back, and then not give him a treat, but say, hey, good boy, good boy.
I like
and
that,
then do that, and
bro.
same thing again. But anyways, enough of Milo. We want to get back into these markets. This move on NVDA is starting to cook up. You can see we were long, really small right here, and then once we cracked that, I got out. I got slipped actually, and then I went pretty heavy right there, and I only got about 20% off, and then I got stopped out the remaining. Attempted one more time, and it didn't work out for us. But NVDL is starting to cook up here. I might have missed that pullback here talking about Milo, so thanks, Milo. But it's all right. We'll be patient because I do think there's going to be another opportunity to get in.
All right, man. All right, I'm back in here, guys, into, oh boy, top W. What are we going to do here? Okay, so I'm waiting to see how this acts. I put my stop already for that 520 break. So we're long at 6. Obviously, I don't expect this to go right back to 6, but I've given it to 530, so it's holding that 530 level. The spread is opening up in a way that I personally don't like. 75 now on the bid. Let's see if we can get out of here, break even for the entire amount at around $6. So topped up, there we are. Yeah, it's a little risky to do that, guys. So let's go ahead and wait a little bit lower than that. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Throw an order there, see if it does pop up into that level. Still about 43, 44%, showing me 72s. I'm just waiting a little bit higher. So a big spike up. There we go. Now we're showing 80s, 72 on the bid, but alas, it's not really blowing through that level. So, you know, we'll just pack our patience for a couple of more seconds here, up almost 50%. If we can get that break even, that would just be really, really good. Here we go, 78s, 80s now showing up. That's going to be enough for me, Joseph. I already got out of Dodge with this one, so we'll give back obviously some there, and it's obviously going to be a negative day for me as a result. So we'll look to do a little bit better. On top dub, if it does hold the volume weighted average price, I will trade this with much smaller share size now that I know the look of this one's jib. It's obviously one that can't be trusted. And you know, I hold no personal animosity, but it's just let's understand the characteristics of the stock that we're trading. We're just getting acquainted. I didn't even know this stock existed until about 25 minutes ago. And what I'm really saying here, guys, is if something's a habitual offender in the sense that it's blown through your stop, or is very spready when it shouldn't be because it's doing volume, whatever the characteristics are, yeah, just get to learn about its characteristics and then trade it accordingly. So that's kind of my little spiel for here. Let's have a look, though, at INHD. Where's my screen on that one? Because it's really going again. There it is. Okay, so this is the 1 minute. That's not what I want. Let's look at the 5 over here. And this has got basically great wicks off higher low. So if you look at that level initially at 11.10, the wick there is $12. Then you're looking at the 11.20, the wick there is $12.29. Then you're looking at the 11.30 candle, the wick there is $12.50. And now the current candle, 11.35, the wick there is $12.75. What I mean to say by reading all these random levels is higher low, higher low, higher low, and yes, another higher low. You're not exactly getting that oomph above 14. I'll submit to you 14 has been a hard level to hold despite the fact that we've been above it multiple times, 1471 high a day. Keep your eye out on INHD. It's continuing to go here. Also keeping an eye on WULF. I've got shares on in this one. Let's go ahead and wet the beak here at 50 pennies, and they're going to wait for 54s for the next little one. What else we got? There's Gugu or Gogo. Why'd I say Gugu? Go-Go, guys. Yeah, this one looked like it was about to go, but alas, it did break below the volume weighted average price, so I did kind of put this on my crap list. It still got lower highs, technically back above the volume weighted average price, but I'll submit to 12.5 has been a hard level to stay above, despite the fact that we have a 12.90 high a day. It's been, you know, you can tell, you just get above 12.5 and the short sellers come in fast and furious. So SOUN, okay, this is the one we talked about earlier. Soundhound, obviously a name that a lot of us are familiar with given its association with NVIDIA. And this one's having a good day. Well off the highs, by the way, 11.21 high, it's down into 10.5. But this is the level where I'd want to pick it up at. I wouldn't want to be punching in at highs on this one. I want to pick it up at VWAP. VWAP and the hold or the $0.5 level intersecting $10.5. Good look here. Let's load up SOUN on this trading screen. We're going to take off go. No, it's on NQ. It is on cue. So let's go ahead and see if we can get something in here on a friend SoundHound now that it's at VWAP and now also that it's at the whole dollar level. It's going to be a tight stop here, and I'll definitely be looking to add rather than take some out. And then I'm just going to basically hold the entire amount here. I'm not going to be wetting the beak. So let's go ahead and put not the profit takers, the stop loss. So how much are we going to give this, and where is the appropriate area to have your stop? Well, I'm in it for a VWAP trade as well as a 10.5 retracement. So if this loses, I'm giving it super tight. We're going to give it 10 pennies. So let's go ahead and wait at 41s, and then I'm going to really give this one room so it doesn't go against me. So SOUN at the volume weighted average price up 17.5%. But really don't know where this one goes, to be honest with you. It's a very aggressive retracement. So since we put in that 11.21 high right at 11 o'clock, you could tell the buy program or whatever algo was trading this shut off because we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red candle on the 5-minute retracement. So there has not been a bid for 40 minutes on this name. It literally made the high at 11 on the dot, and then that 11.21, we're well below it now. So keeping my eye on this one, Joseph. Going to give it really tight room, and then if it ends up holding up at the volume weighted average price, fantastic. If it doesn't, we'll take an L.
Good stuff there. All right, so shout out to my guy Dale. Oh no, his name's not. I don't know. I was gonna say Dale Earnhardt, but his name is Earhart. So shout out to him, man. Sent out a good one here. Slowly grabbing in a beautiful stop loss as well, too. So we'll zoom in on this here, guys. So shout out Earhart for posting his trades. Slowly just grabbing on some shares here as the market climbs. One thing that we got to note here, I'll pull up the SPY and the Qs. You can see that we have this steady downtrend. As long as we don't crack this low, we might be in a good position for the longs. We might get that rebound, and you can see buyers really start to step in. So that's his out right there, guys. I know this is SPY, but still relatively close. That's his out, slowly just grabbing shares on that front. So there you go. Nice work there from Earhart, just sticking to risk measures, stop loss in place, and that's exactly what we want to see there. So nice work there, and thank you very much for that DM, my friend.
Well, that's a beauty.
Yeah, it's a beauty. Yeah, he's cooking up right now. He's just slowly buying, has that stop loss in place. He's got some shares in there too, guys. Ooh. If you've seen that, almost 200 big ones there at 314 on Tesla. So let's go NASDAQ and let's go Earhart, man. Let's see if that trade works out for you. I'm loving what you're seeing, and thanks for sharing that with everybody. So really, really nice work there, guys. All right, let's see what we got going on. A nice pullback here on the on NVDL. And that's what I mentioned. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this. Onto this front is that you can see this steady downtrend. And what we want to see for a continuation of the long side is we want to sit on the backside of this trend. But to note, this is a solid bounce pivot right here. You can see that it's larger than the previous half hour of volume signatures. And you have that candle, that 5-minute candle closing as a complete hammer candle. So you get that move all the way back to the volume weighted average price. Now we just need this to hold up. And if the market's going to bounce, we need that SPY, the Qs, and all the big names to continue to participate. Up 4%. We're going to need a little bit more than that, Sharif. A 90-day pause. Here, I'm going to pull up actually what I've seen from you. I know you got your news going as well, but the first thing when I pulled up my my old trusty phone there this morning is U.S. and China reached agreement to reduce most tariffs from 125% to 10% over 90 days, triggering a 4% pre-market gain in NVDA shares and potentially easing tensions affecting semiconductor exports. NVIDIA is modifying, this is interesting, Sharif, its H20 chip for the Chinese market with reduced memory capacity to comply with U.S. exports controls, targeting a July release date. That is some big news. This is exactly what we need to see here in NVDA, and you know Sharif's most definitely got some hot lines and some more hot news coming for us later on in the day as well, too, guys.
Yes, sir. So, Joseph, there's a birthday here that we gotta acknowledge over here. Her name is Elsie. Joseph. In case you haven't been acquainted with her, this is my baby, and she's now 2 years old.
Big stepper.
So we had to give her a little bit of a cleaning, Joseph, on the weekend, and we got the clay bar involved. Ooh. Shout out to my man Randy. We got the de-waxer involved. Shout out to that blue, bro.
Shout out that blue.
Shout out to that blue, bro.
The rims are looking fresh too.
Yeah, well, we cleaned, bro. Let me tell you about the amount of brake dust in this. You know, mother. You know what?
How long you spend cleaning this?
A lot. Boy? But let me tell you something else.
All right.
If you stay up with the upkeep, way easier.
Yeah.
Way easier to clean that.
Way easier.
Oh man, shout out to my girl Elsie. She's 2 years old. She cost me a lot of money, especially with gas being what it is lately. I just want to show a couple of other things here, Joseph. So a couple of interesting movies over here. This is me picking up Elsie. Oh, what's going on? There it is. Yeah, I know. This is me picking up Elsie when they had her ready for me there. They surprised me with her under the red tarp. So this is 2 years ago to the day, Joseph.
Dang.
Boom! Shout out to the JLR Napanee, man. That's where your friend, what's his name, Carney.
That's my guy.
Just won his riding there. So this is what, they had that nice.
So you went out there.
I picked it up, from Ottawa. Yeah.
Dang.
And then this was the weekend, my man. Check this out. This is my aunt's cottage.
Oh yeah.
Out up in Keswick. Let me show this. Okay, hold up. Where's the picture quality there, Joseph? There we go. We got so it's peninsula things over there, Joseph.
Yeah.
Or some water on the left.
Shut up.
You look in the front.
Canada too.
Oh yeah, man. This is it's a hell of a spot over here. Yeah, this is my aunt's place, guys. We did this whole thing for Mother's Day. Went up to my aunt's place, caught some sun, caught some fresh air. Then we went to Jerusalem, which is like a Middle Eastern restaurant. They had a belly dancer to boot during the day, which I found to be blasphemous. Belly dancers shouldn't be belly dancing during the day, bro. It's a nighttime activity right there.
Hey, they can dance whenever. I don't mind. They can dance whenever.
Get it, Joe.
Oh, I went to a Lebanese restaurant on.
You did tell me that.
A mall.
Did you get the tabbouleh?
I don't know, but I got some good stuff, man. I don't know. I just say, listen, Selena, I'm like, you
Love
get
you,
whatever.
dog. Love you, dog.
I'm hungry, yeah. So I don't know. A mall, it was nice in Yorkville. So
yeah, well, I'm sure it was bomber because #1 Yorkville is a sick spot, obviously very expensive, and I think Lebanese food is sick. So
it was good, man. It was good.
Man, it was a hell of a weekend, bro. I wish every weekend was kind of like that,
the
man.
fried cheese had a little pesto on it too. I'm a big pesto guy, so shout out that. That was fire.
Hey, I like it. All right, INDH at HOD. Yeah, I went extremely negative on that one. That and Top Dub have put me negative on the day. We started out very positive, but these ones, they give it and they can take it away, so I'm going to be a little bit chill on that one. What kind of a car brand is that, Justin B? That's my Jag, baby. Sweet ride. Thanks, Epic Strategy. Are the car mats still available, Darwin? No. He knows exactly what my kryptonite is. Dasher Hunter is calling me a douche. He doesn't like my car. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you there. Thanks, go.
At least he's honest. You know what I mean?
I don't care, bro. I'll just drive it all over you, baby.
Oh.
No, it's not twin turbo. It is supercharged. 5-liter V8, baby.
That.
All right. Woke brand says D-Taps. All right, don't drive it. Just keep walking to work, bro. Sharif pulled up into a car wash, said, "Get it, boys." No, I did it myself, man. That was all hand done. I legitimately do it all myself. So, Ozan, okay, I can't get to stay with you. At least you can pick me up from the airport. Say less, Darwin.
There we go.
You want it,
No
you got it, my
excuses.
man. The OG Darwin gets what he wants. Shout out to him. All right, man. What else we got over here in the chat? I appreciate you guys, man. Nice comments there. Except the haters in the chat. You can go, you know what.
You can DM me on X if you want.
Yeah.
Send me your trade. Yeah.
Send Joe your trades. Send him your vitriol. Send him whatever you want. He's game on that side. Shout out to Wampadilla. I do appreciate you, man. I do appreciate you there. Joseph, what do you got?
Yeah, we're in some NVDL here, guys. You can see this display. We got that pullback. Now we're going to look for a continuation of this trend. We're still positive on the session. NVDA, that is positive on the session. I'm green, full disclosure. I mean, I'm red, full disclosure. But yeah, let's go. We're going to start to build into this weekend squeeze. But let's take a look at the chain, guys, because that's what we have to do. It's a part of our job to see what the market is telling us. So we pulled up NVDA, and this is what I was referring to. It's actually surprising. I wasn't expecting to see this, but always expect the unexpected. So here we go. We knew that 119, 120 had the highest levels of open interest last week. I was curious to see what was going to happen when we rolled over. So go and check those posts. Actually, I could pull it up right now. But 120 strike has grown substantially, guys, substantially. 150,000 current open contracts right now. So times that by 100. That is a whole lot of shareage right there, brother.
Easy, bro.
150. And last week, Sharif, it was 90,000.
Oh.
It was what that 119. See, the 119 strike is now vastly decayed. It's not nearly as big as it was before. We had 90,000 open contracts around that specific 119 strike. And now we've rolled over to the next expiration cycle, and you can see 150,000 at that 120. So let's wait and see. It's going to be an interesting week, and I'm going to be documenting what happens, like what is going to happen when we have potentially that many traders who are currently now offside. Because think about it, someone's got to sell it to you, right? So now they're short NVDA, and you don't want to be short NVDA from 120, and we're trading at 120, 166. That is not a good sign. So going to be patient for that. And also to note here, guys, you can see that we have 150,000 on the call side and 50,000 on the put side. That's not quite enough to pin the price action and for us to move kind of, even though we are moving sideways, I would want to see that put side significantly larger, and then that would determine to me like, hey, we're going to struggle right around this 120 area, and we might see some chop in the foreseeable future, but that's not the case here right now. As you can see, NVDA is starting to pull back, so I'm going to be cautious. This might be a short here today, guys, especially we have so much contracts at 120, 150,000. The market makers don't like being offside. Sure.
Well said, Joseph.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Wolf is starting to curl up, so I was happy I stuck with this one. This is a volume-weighted average price retracement, WULF, coming into, I want to say that VWAP at the time was around 44s. Where'd I get long? Allow me a second to have a look. I got long at 47s. We just worked our way up to 53. I'm waiting at 55s for the next beak wetter. Let's keep an eye out on this one. WULF, it's not the biggest mover on the day, but 17%, not a bad look. Soundhound, we got a bunch of prints all the way up into 70, but it is coming back down again. So you had, I want to say, a 4-candle hold up so far at VWAP with some bamboozlement. You get a candle right at that 11:40 time slot, which is a 5-minute candle to make a new high on a closing basis. And then the subsequent candle, the candle at 11:45, ends up making an equally big move down, right back into VWAP. And the current candle we're in, 11:50, kind of just break even, holding VWAP right now. I've given myself all the way down into the 40s for a stop here, but Soundhound, it does feel like this one could be a flat bottom break given what it did earlier, which was kind of put that candle in to get people in. That first 5-minute candle will make a new high, closes that way, and then drops all the way back down. So I'll give this one a bit more room, but I am a little concerned right now about SOUN losing the bid. Shout out to my man Bovin for bringing this one to my attention. CISO. Is this halted down? No. Let me just make sure it's still trading. Yes, I think it is. CISO. I believe this one just did weasel up as one of the better looking gappers that I've got on my scanner. Last a little bit off the highs. Now 141. It ended up printing out as a high there. Bro, what are you doing over there? CISO. I don't know. This Windows. You know, we don't really talk about this anymore because I think people just got used to it, Joseph. But Windows is really glitchy. Like constantly glitchy, but I think just people have gotten used to Windows being glitchy, so nobody complains about it anymore. $1.41 high a day on CISO, coming into a great area. This $1.30, I like this area above in the 10 and the 10 EMA and the price action support. So let's go ahead and load CISO, and I'm gonna get in here and we'll give it like a 5 or 10 penny stop, something like that. Let's go long on our friend CISO, excuse me, and then we're gonna wait up here. For a beak wetter, we're going to wait at 35s, and then we'll layer into 38s. I see some resistance here at 36s. Keep that in mind, right? So we did work our way up there and reject. So I'm going to give this to $1.25. So it's going to have to hold this $1.26 support over here. So let's go ahead like that, and then we're going to give it a lot of room. Given what happened to me on the other one, I'm going to give all my stops now minimum of 10 penny spread. So keep an eye on this CISO, guys. As I mentioned earlier, INHD, I did really well on it to start, then very poorly on it to continue, and is now halted to the upside. 1654 I think this is going to be more than a 5-minute halt. Just allow me to double check. It seems like it's been halted for about more than 5 minutes. Yes, this is going to be at least a 10-minute halt, if not more. Again, if you're newer to these small cap gapper style trades, the volatility halts come in waves of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It'll always be right at that 15, right at that 5, right at that 10 minutes. So the way to figure it out, you go over to your time and sales, right over here on the left, and you look at the last print that came in. In this particular case here for INHD, we see that it came in at 11:47:43. So you add 5 minutes, you add 10, you add 15 onto that time, and then that should be the opening. And it literally opens to the second. Right at the open there. So keep your eye out on that one. And then, yeah, that's the situation. All right, we're doing it live here on ISO, Joseph. It got up back into that 136, but as I kind of suspected, we're getting a little bit of a sell there. And the reason we're getting a sell there is because we tried to work back up only to reject. So we know there is local resistance at $1.36 right now on CISO. Let's see if we can shake that seller that's been selling up a storm. We're at 36 right now. Can we shake them? Where we're trying to work up it into 37s. Look at that. It's not even eating up the size. What does that tell you? That tells you the person who's selling has likely got an iceberg order, a hidden order, not available for the market to view. There are many nuances about these hidden orders. One of the most important is they're technically supposed to be kicked to the back of the line. So we know how these work, right? Order and priority. You put your order out there first. Depending on what gateway you are, you have fill priority. The people who hide a portion or all of their orders, they get kicked to the back of the line. So sometimes we've got to eat up the orders that are actually posted or not hidden before we get to those hidden orders. I feel like it doesn't always work that way. And let me tell you why. When we observe that level, say at $1.36 right now on CISO, we weren't taking any of the posted size that was actually posted on level 2. We saw it live. But we were getting all the sell order or the buy orders coming in on the time and sales. Well, how come the hidden order there is getting priority ahead of the market maker that was posted there at the gateway? So there's some stuff that I personally don't understand about this order of priority that I need to do a bit of a deeper dive into. I'm talking about iceberg orders or hidden orders, guys. That's kind of what I'm discussing here. All right, let's go right back to our friend SOUN because it does look like we're bouncing off again. Yes, so we did get yet another bounce off SOUN, so I'm going to put the beak there, see if we can take some off and make some back of the losses we engaged in today, Joseph. So what I see right now, SOUN holding at the volume weighted average price and the seller on CISO, excuse me, can't shake them.
Can't shake it.
Can't shake them.
Can't shake them. Yeah, all right, guys. So, yeah, just looking at the overall market here, and I just mentioned this downtrend line. Until we sit on the back side of this, then we might have to continue in this short. So, just the thesis, right? So, you can see a nice hammer print. We don't even get back towards the volume, like back directly above it or right at the volume weighted average price, and now heading into some key support levels on the Qs. So, have to be patient on this front, guys. That downtrend is still fully intact. And we just have to listen to what the PA is telling us at times. So there we go. If you want to look at it from an intraday standpoint, just doing simplistic stuff, right? That's the issue. See, my issue is, like, again, I just like to stick to the most simplistic things as possible. You see I have one indicator on my chart. That's it. Other than that, I'm using price, the time of sales, and what PA is telling me, and the L2. So, again, I don't want too much... That's the word I'm looking for there. Analysis paralysis there is what I'm looking to say. But yeah, so that's why you'll see I only have VWAP on here and I just follow what the tape is telling me. And I also have quote highlights as well. And then I'll keep an eye on the options chain because that's exactly what we do. But come on, let's go NVDA. Again, if we sit on the backside of this trend, this is going to be our opportunity to add here, Sharif. Backside. It's kind of every time. So as soon as we're on top of that, it's Ad City over here. Shout out City Boy 305. 105, fellow Yachty as well too. So shout out to him, my guy. But yeah, again, you got to be patient here, right? I don't want to jump into too many things. As you can see, the market, I'm not going to say it's directionless, but I know a lot of us had bullish biases this morning, and it definitely didn't come into play, especially with that news going from 145% to now just a 10% pause for an extended period of time. It's just like, okay, why aren't we continuing this rally? Well, maybe the market's already priced a lot of that in here. Katina Man mentioned something very valid not too long ago, is that we're already up 20% off of those lows. Same with the likes of NVDA, up 39% off of these local lows right here of 86 or 87, we'll call it flat, and now trading at 121.68. Like, how much more can we ask for there, Sharif? I mean,
no, Joe, you tell me.
Yeah. I mean, we could obviously ask for a whole lot, but it doesn't mean we're gonna receive a whole lot. And sometimes that's why I'm so happy. It's like, okay, yeah, I closed some contracts. Yeah, I closed some shares on Friday. I was happy about that. And then you get the gap out up in the morning. I'm not even phased because I did what my plan told me to do. And now I'm leaving some for a runner to gain some of this so I can still profit off of what we've seen here. And I'm not fully sized. That's fine. You're always going to have those shoulda, coulda, woulda scenarios. But it's our job as traders to accept the fact, stick to the trade plan, and leave a bit of a runner. But let's see what Adair's up to, guys.
Here's the S&P 500 just slowly kind of pushing to the downside, but it's up 2.5% on the day. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ here, up 3 and a bit percent here, but much like the S&P 500, trying to push lower. So we're doing both of these have been extremely range bound over the last hour. If you look at these 15-minute candles, we had a lot of news today. Of course, China tariff pause here with the U.S. and China both pausing their reciprocal tariff measures for 90 days. But there were some individual tickers I want to talk about. Shopify. Incredibly strong here, SHOP. Of course, the overall market move helped it, but it also is going to be added to the NASDAQ as of May 19th, so next Monday. It also is on day 3 earnings play for SHOP. We have UNH as well. UNH and HUM both on watch here. They made a little bit of a move to the downside after Donald Trump said during his press conference with RFK Jr. on health prices or prescription drug prices, he said that he wants to cut out the middlemen. So these health insurance names did drop a little bit on that story. Lots of names to keep an eye on today. Keep an eye on FXI and KWeb as well. Of course, China-related plays. But in the meantime, we're going to have Neil. And he's going to give you a lesson of the day. So without further ado, take it away, Neil.
Thank you, Adara. Look, this is the kind of day or the kind of morning trading session where you're going to get so much more information out of it. So your lesson of the day is gap ups on you know what and on the good. Because today's gap to the upside is obviously going to be much bigger market wide than what you're used to. Like, this is the type of gaps. Almost every single stock had gaps that you would usually only see if there's news or if there's earnings or something along those lines. And when that's the case, you get, and it's across the board, you get so much more information to be able to deal with that you can learn from. So it's always a good learning experience. But what ended up happening, we always talk about things being like a stock picker's market sometimes, where individual stocks are not going to care what the group is doing or what the market is doing. There's a lot of information to be gleaned when that is the case. Because when I look over at what the NASDAQ did at the open, right, I have NVIDIA up, and we'll get to that. Like, we're cruising. Instant drop, and then all we did off the opening range is find instant resistance on our first bounce, make a fresh low, and then a lower high. So there was nothing bullish about the overall market. But what that can provide you with on a day where you're going to have big, massive, outsized gaps is have a look and see what is happening when you get that drop into the bottom and then a retest of the low. This is a 15-minute chart. That's the moment you're going to be able to decide what kind of stocks you're in. When you make this bounce here, anything that makes a higher low when you're putting in the same low or holds a low when you break the low on the NASDAQ, you can put into a strong bucket. Now, obviously, you're going to see me not in NVIDIA at any point until now. Well, what did NVIDIA do? There's your low. Instead of making the same higher low again, it makes a lower high, and then it breaks the low, and then finally puts in a higher low breaking trend late in the day. So why was I not involved in NVIDIA? Because you had to pivot away from things that were weak. And it's not to say that I didn't trade anything that didn't fit that pattern, but I got away from them early. Like I played the initial dip in Zim on some strength, but when it made that fresh low and the market didn't, or when the market did, I went away from it. So you juxtapose that to what were the things that I stuck with today and why. Micron, initial low, holds it, holds the volume weighted average price while the market was making that second low, and then it never makes a fresh bottom. So relative strength in the initial dip, well, in the second dip, I should say, and then holds the low when the market was making a fresh low. So stick with that. Now, obviously, it slows down, puts a bit of a wedge in, so I don't think it's as strong anymore, but it allows you to be in something which is bucking that trend, because when the gaps are this big, it's really dangerous if something is breaking through those low. Like this stock had a $7 gap on it. It's an 8% move to the upside. You can get smoked even on a small retracement through. So you want to be sure as the market's breaking down, you're not in something where you're catching a falling knife. Now, something that did, and I'm going to come to Apple in a second, did have that characteristic of the big drop like the market did, was Apple. However, what did it do after that? It held the same bottom. Now, I did get stopped out when it wicked this low, but it still held our 207 level, and that's sort of the key. Hold the line. If something was making a fresh bottom when the market had defined its bottom or broke its bottom, that's not the thing I want to fight with. Either my level is working and the stock is showing strength off of it, or it's putting in higher lows, or you've just got to move away. It got me to move away from Zim. It got me to stick with Micron and then eventually Apple. And you know what? When a stock does break the trend like NVIDIA is doing right now, you can be late to it. You can just wait for it to look a little bit stronger. All the selling is done in here. You don't need to always try to get the bottom to get the move or get a more confident move, because now that the market's doing nothing, you're breaking through resistance on NVIDIA even though it was a late play. So you can have a certain degree of patience, I think, but when you have these massive gap fills like we had here today, when you break the low and continue to make fresh lows, that is a much more dangerous scenario to be trying to grab those longs in, because there's so much room for it to fall and still on a higher time frame be bullish. And that's a dangerous game to be playing. So if the market's breaking fresh lows and your stock is holding support, great. If it's making higher lows, even better. But if it's continuing to make fresh lows, that's not where you need to be fighting. Go find the thing that's got relative strength. There's so much moving in the market that you don't have to worry about catching a single stock going perfectly to your plan. You should be able to find something out there, if you're biased to the long side, that can give you that trend that you're looking for, that can give you the relative strength that you need, whatever it might be. So it worked out really well today, being a little bit late to NVIDIA for it to break trend, sticking with the names that were not making those fresh lows, getting away from the ones that were, but it's not an easy thing to do. And on a day like today, whether you traded well, up, down, whatever you are, you get like 10 times as much information on days like today. So it's even more important that you go back, reflect on each individual trade, each decision you made, all the moves, and all the price action. Because it's an outlier type of session where you're gapped up this far and see the price action after a said gap. It doesn't happen often, and it's more important when it does that you take in all that information and evaluate yourself correctly. But you know relative strength on a day like today is going to be even more important when you have this kind of a gap upside. It's a good day to trade, no questions asked, because of the moves, but it can be tricky if you were fighting that trend a little too hard this morning. There's your lesson of the day, everybody. Hope it helps.
Thank you very much for that, Neil. Fantastic, great advice as always. And I have to agree with that sentiment, man. This is the kind of day where you're going to see a lot of what's inside of the market, sort of. What am I trying to say here? Kind of some of the hidden stuff. Like somebody was asking me earlier, oh, how come Netflix is down almost 3%? I mean, everything else is up. Well, I don't know. There's really no specific catalyst today for Netflix, but it was obviously performing very well when everything was doing very poorly. So if you happen to believe that Netflix was going to be a secular run and you wanted your money in a long as opposed to a short, you funneled into Netflix. All of a sudden, everything else is doing really well. So you take some profits and then you funnel it back into some other things. So there doesn't have to be a negative catalyst here, but you can kind of get the internal market thinking on days like this. And I don't know if that's what Neil meant, but that's kind of what I'm thinking here. So fantastic look today for the market overall. And there's a lot of different names on the Mag 7 that we'll get to in short order, and we'll do the news obviously and explain a lot of the details that make up part of this reason that we're running up. Obviously has a lot to do with the trade and China. All right, guys. CSIO, shout out to my main man, Bhavin Patel. He's always bringing me these names because I can't have my eye on the top screen all the time looking at my scanner. CISO, fantastic look on this one. There we go. We just added. So that's exactly what I was looking there for Bhavin. A move into the 10 exponential. Now I'm going to wait at 39s just to get my beak wet again. So I initially got in at 32s. We wet the beak all the way up into 41s. Then it comes back into the 10 and I add there. So looking to extract some profitability now at 39, showing me 38s. So CISO, look, full disclosure, it's $1 stock and it's only done 3 2/3 million shares on the day. That's not great. Okay, it's got a great looking pattern. It's got a 1 penny spread. Let's see if that ends up holding up. Anything below that $1.30, that's the end of the trade for me. We'll keep an eye out on that. Still involved in many other trades as well as Wolf and SOUN. Both are still holding VWAP right now, so I'm going to keep my eye on both of those. But this one, INHD, is the bane of my existence. Ooh. It is coming back down very aggressively, Joseph. 1978 high a day. We are going to halt here at 1463. If this halt parameter continues to hold in this way, this will be the first time. False halt. There we go. So we pop back up into about 1510. The spread is opening up on this one. INHD is a ticker. It's up 175%. So this last little false halt below that 15 area was the first breach of the 10 EMA on the 5. What's going on over there?
Yeah,
NVDL is breaking out. Get it, Joe.
NVDL is breaking out. Guys, I missed it. You guys seen it in the chat, and someone said, Joey, food's going to be your downfall. I'm like, it is. I shouldn't have left my desk because I was waiting for a precise ad there. Sorry, Sharif, for interrupting you.
You're good,
but I was waiting for a precise ad right here on NVDL. This is 2x leverage right here, guys. So whatever 1% move you're getting in NVDA, you're getting 2% here in NVDL. And I should have added, coulda, woulda. Again, I just got to stop doing that. But that's what I was looking for on that ad. But we're still climbing up almost 10% here in NVDL. Nice breakout there, guys. Good precision entry. Held the volume weighted average price to a T. So I'm looking for this continuation in the move. I'm also in the TQs as well, guys. So looking for this breakout to continue. I'm going to have to scroll through the Mag 7 to see what everyone else is up to because we can't just have NVDA climbing higher and then not some of the other big boys participating. Because at any form of pullback, this could be bad news. So I want to see what Apple's up to and my good friend Softy, the big three, we're going to call them there. Just because if they're not climbing higher, then this trade might be in trouble because if NVDA decides that it wants to pull back aggressively, then it's definitely going to bring the market down with it. And you can see the TQs have not participated in this NVDA breakout, so not too good of a look. And Apple and Microsoft are looking like extreme hot garbage right now. So, damn, Sharif.
Hey.
Sorry, continue on.
Yeah. No worries, bro. I'm just having a look. I was looking at what you were saying. I was doing my analysis because I don't even really look at the Mag when we're on the show. Guys, INHD looks like it might be an actual real halt this time. It keeps losing the bid. 1978 high. We're going to halt here at 1390 if we continue in this way for a few more seconds. It does look like this will be a halt, and now we are down. We are halted down. Now, here's the deal, guys. Believe it or not, even with that ugly retracement, and I'll submit to you, off that high to the current halt, we just lost 30% in about 20 minutes on INHD. Believe it or not, we're still above the volume weighted average price. So for the moment, the 20 exponential on the 5 and the volume weighted average price are overlapping. Not that I really base a whole lot on the 20, but we are still technically in play right now on INHD using my system, which means that you have to trade them above VWAP and the pre-market high. Definitely not going to be looking to punch in at this level. Looking at the theoretical auction price, 1348 currently the top. Again, the halt level, 1390. So we're below that substantially. Yeah, so a bit of a tougher look right now. So CISO, I did add on that $1.35, and here we are into the $1.36, holding the 10 EMA, but not bouncing up and printing me at that $1.39. So we'll see how long CISO continues to allow us in this trade. As I mentioned, anything below 30, we're gone Zeno on this one. Let's go ahead and throw that stop in there. Let me just double check the shareage we've got on here. Yeah, we're good to go. So we'll give it to, we'll give it to like a $1.25 because now I've kind of learned my lesson with that. And we're gonna give it we're gonna give it a little bit of room here after what happened to me on top W. Shout out to Top G.
Shout out to Top G, though, for real.
Watch all the hate now. Yeah. Flow into the chat, baby. Flow. Bring in that hate, baby. Bring in that hate. No, I'm playing. So that's the situation. WULF, we've been holding this one since the start of the show. It's kind of giving me some higher lows here on the volume weighted average price. I haven't been able to DCA to dollar cost average on this one, nor have I been able to get that 55 print. SOUN, I continue to hold this one as well for a volume weighted average price retracement, but my patience for SOUN is running out. And I'll explain why. It's not just random. It's continually holding VWAP as a flat bottom. So the support is coming in from the lower side at VWAP, but you're not getting the same level of resistance. It's incrementally lower high. So this is a candidate here for a flat bottom break. At least that's my perception on SOUN. If it gives up the ghost aggressively at VWAP, that's it. So we're out of 4/5 of the position, and I've moved up my stop for a mid-40s break. So if it breaks 1045, we're gone Zeno on this one. And again, I'm going to give all these stocks a lot of room because, well, that's exactly why I did that. Okay, so let's go ahead like that, and then we're going to sell because of what happened to me on INHD. So we're going to cancel that one, Joseph, because I typed it in wrong. There we go. So we'll do that again over here. There we go. Now we're learning. Good job, Sharif.
Good job, buddy.
Hey, pat on the back. Bovin, BAOS halting up. Ozan, no hate, only 69s, baby. You know what the drill is. Ozan gets it. He knows the assignment. Shout out to my main man, Ozan. All right, let's have a look at BAOS for the OG Bovin, AKA my other pair of eyes. Let's have a look here. That's the chart on AAPL, the one that Joseph was just bashing, BAOS.
Oh, Chief, let's go, my guy.
Get it, Joe.
All right, hold on. Can we pull it up here for a second? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're breaking out here on NVDL. Let me pull it up for you guys. Let's see if we can get the Qs rolling. You can see I already doubled my position, so I'm going to look to add another 50% here if we start to cook up there, Sharif. But we got to be patient. Man, that's the issue, right? Like, it's like, oh, why did I step away? Especially when that breakout was coming. I was expecting one more fake out. But yeah, we don't want to dwell. We just want to be forward-looking to see how we can capitalize potentially on this big Qs move. But we need the likes of Microsoft and Apple to start participating there, guys. It's not looking too good on their front. They're just moving eastward. But let's go NVDA. What a monstrous move here, guys. All the way up to 122.62, back to that pre-market high. This is fantastic. If we go and test that, we might just blow through this. So hopefully you guys are involved in this ticker, but you can see entry right there on NVDL using 2x leverage, and we're just still continuing to climb. I'll take a little bit more off for the peeps them. And there we go. We got canceled on that one.
Printing up a storm over there.
No, I'm still red though, Sharif. But this trade, honestly, dude, this trade should have
that's okay.
Full disclosure, it should have been significantly larger, and then I would have been back on the green side of things. But that's okay. We can't dwell on things that we didn't. We just have to look to improve. Thank you, none of ya. I appreciate that one. Good luck. We will need this on this trade, and we need the Qs to continue to participate here. So you can see both my averages on that front. So a nice little look here on NVDL. But do you guys see what I'm getting at here? Is that like when you see me add into my positions, as we crack through this pivot high here, you got to be adding into the strength, especially look at that volume by time profile, really start to pick up. That's just confirming our breakout even more. And this is the things that we try to touch on. We're not just like shooting guns randomly. There's a method behind the madness. There's analysis behind all of the trades that we implement. And I try to hyper focus on the volume profile because it can tell you a lot, and you want to follow the larger participants. Look at the volume step in compared to what we were trading at for the remainder of the day, or for the rest of the previous session. So from this is where our highest amounts of volume were, and then for over an hour we just absolutely cool off, right? And then boom, we break out, the volume steps right back in. I know Gorev's paying attention to these things. I know Los Polios is. I know Skull is. I know Ribby Millionaire is. All DJ's doing it too. All my boys are doing that. So just continue to follow that volume, and you're going to be on the right side of trades. Not everything works all the time, but when it works really well. And let's go TQQs. Going to look to add on to this position on the pullback of VWAP. Here we go, guys. We're starting to cook up now. Let's go.
That's my man getting hyped up, man. I like it. All right, here's the deal. Shout out to my man Bovin, BAOS, halted to the upside. What is this great stock that's $5.25 million market cap? Huge, I tell you. 1.92 million shares on a $3 name, so we're still super light, but as you can see there in the bottom right of your screen, the volume profile is a bit mixed. You get that initial volume spike at 720. I'm assuming when, I didn't look, but I'm assuming when we got the news catalyst and then we had some zig and zag at 8 a.m. These we know are institutional prints, so I wouldn't put too much in those. But look, this is a real volume coming in midday here, coming in at 12:05 to start, continuing to 12:10, 12:15. It was halted for a period of 5 minutes. New high day 379. It's trying to hold that area close at 341. It did wick below into about 329, but it's kind of no man's land right now with barely a body here on the candle, just mainly composed of upper and lower wicks. Let's see which way this cookie crumbles. It might be crumbling to the downside, baby, because we just tested 29s again. It's up 72%. So this is a real deal here. The breakout is happening, whether or not it continues or we get a V-shaped retracement right back from the depths of hell from which we came. We're going to keep an eye on that, and I exaggerate for effect. Obviously, I don't know anything about the company. We just took out the high of the day, Joseph, 389. Oh, wow. My man Bovin, you always bring the heat, Bovin. Shout out to you. Keep your eye out on Bovin's levels and his callouts for names. He is a great small cap trader, able to identify these bad boys early. 389, 390 now, Joseph. We're taking out highs here on, wow, what a breakout. From 390 to 427, like it doesn't even matter. Shout out to the highway. We're going to halt here at $4.30 if we hold at this level for 10 seconds. Up now almost 113%. Oh, baby. What a fantastic look. It already earned its way onto the side chart. We're going to take off top G. Top W, obviously, BAOS. We're putting that on the side chart here. We're going to keep an eye on this one. Once it opens up, we'll be hopefully involved with this one. Again, BAOS is the ticker, guys. Let me give you some information on it now, as it looks like it will halt. All right, what is this? Baosheng Media, are they Chinese? Company, Okay, so it's a holding company principally involved in providing online marketing solutions. They advise advertisers on online marketing strategies, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so they have about a 1.5 million share float. Let me just verify that with Trade Ideas. Make sure the information is jiving here, BAOS. I've got 880,000 on Trade Ideas. So I've got sub 1 million, not really differing too much from mine, 1.5, so about half. Maybe they split. A short float here of around 8.17%. So that's what we got here on BAOS. It's a great look so far. We're going to keep an eye out on. The Katina Man has returned from the gym, and we're going to want to hear about this Katina Man. Shout out to you, my man. So BAOS in play at the moment. INHD is losing everything. The 10, the 20, VWAP. Wowzers. Keep an eye out for 10. I'm not going to be a buyer at 10. That breaches my rules. But this one is retracing as aggressively as it was making its way up. A Christmas tree retracement. Get it, Joe. All right, so good look there. Let me know if you want to say anything, because I've got one more thing to cover.
I can cover it.
Okay. All right. Shout out to my man John Del Segno. Adera. I don't know if you've had eyes on this, but your friend Novo Nordisk is on the way up, Adera. 67.40 high a day. This has been quite directional. Novo Nordisk now up 2.33%, 67.40. There has been kind of no breaks at all in this ascension. It feels like an algorithmic buy program using the 10 EMA as its support level, because you have not had a breach of the 10 EMA since 10:10 this morning. That is 2 hours ago. So right now, Novo Nordisk really on the way up. It's only up 2.33%. So I don't want to get too excited about it, but the trade looks fantastic as it works up into those levels. Adera's got more information for us.
I want to talk about Novo for a second, not just because it is a GLP-1 name, but because there's something that pretty interesting that happened here. So in case you missed it, around 9:12, there was this little push up in Novo. It got kind of violent, and then we give back some of that move. Now, of course, we ended up continuing to push higher, but there was a catalyst that kind of got swept up in all of the madness today, what with the U.S. and China trade pause. So what happened was this morning, we had Eli Lilly, another GLP-1 company that makes a competing drug to Novo Nordisk. Basically, Eli Lilly coming out here and saying that they, through a study that, of course, was I guess, run by the company or funded by the company, they found that their weight loss drug was more effective in a couple different metrics than Novo Nordisk's. So this came out this morning. I saw the news. Of course, Eli Lilly stock was not reacting to it because it was very swept up in all of the talks that Donald Trump was going to be having an executive order to lower drug prices. Then we got this push here at 9:12 a.m. So what happened here is Wall Street Journal published an article with the exact same information that we already had released on Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk. That's what we got, that push up at Lilly that it then pushed lower on, and then Novo Nordisk getting that drop that it then recovered from. In both cases here, continuing to push to the upside. But either way, I just wanted to provide a little bit of context on Novo and Lilly this morning in case anyone missed the story. It wasn't a new catalyst. Back to you.
That one, but guys, listen up. Traders funded by Trade the Pool have been cashing out big. We're talking about 5,000, 15,000, 29,000, 36,000 on one trade street. That's big time cash. Here's how it works. You pay a one-time evaluation fee at just $47. That's your total risk. You trade real shares, not CFDs, using up to $200,000 in company capital. You keep 70% of the profits, no margin calls, no account blowups. Scan Trade the Pool's QR code to get 10% off and start your journey today, right there, guys. You see the trades that we're putting on. If you're looking to get funded, go check out Trade the Pool. And I'm sure you can put more than $47. And with that, maybe you get even more buying power. And with that, obviously, you get more risk. The more money you put in, the more risk you get. So go check out Trade the Pool. And see if that's going to work for you guys. But let's go. Here we are in the TQs, guys. I'm telling Sharif, I should have had at least triple the size here. But again, enough of that should, coulda, woulda stuff. Let's just manage what we got on the board. You can see we're in at 64.81, just below the volume weighted average price. Good note that Microsoft has held VWAP to a T and now bouncing it through that level and heading into some key resistance zones. So if we can crack through that and continue to climb, it's going to be a good day for the overall market. And then we have the likes of Apple as well. We're trading below VWAP, so we do need to sit on top of that in order for us to, I think, to form any idea of like a bullish thesis, I guess. So I'll be patient on this front. If it cracks these lows, then that's not going to be a positive sign. But with the likes of NVDA, Google's starting to climb a little bit higher, but also below VWAP. But Tesla's above the volume weighted average price. Oh, and this is what I want to point out. So Erhardt,
Daryl?
Yeah, not Daryl. Maybe his nephew or something like that. Erhardt in the chat. Or sorry, he DM'd me his trade, and you've seen he was buying Tesla, and he had a stop just below here. We never cracked that low a day, and his average was roughly in this grouping right here. So he's put on a nice trade right there on Tesla. Erhardt, feel free to update me with the status of that trade if you started taking profits, etc., and how you've been managing it, and I'll be more than happy to display it here. But nice work there. We've seen that live here. Erhardt sent his trades in, and they're looking pretty good right now, cooking up in Tesla. But we want to be patient. If these big names start to participate, then we're sitting really well here in the TQs, and then that might give us an opportunity to add into this position. NVDA is starting to pull back, so we'll be patient with this one, but you can see there's a lot of strength here on the tape in the overall market, and if Apple decides that it wants to get its ish together, then we're going to be sitting pretty good, Sharif.
All right, we're doing it live here on BAOS, guys. It's breaking out. Let's wait at 69 now. All right, so just took out 50s. There's a bit of a seller at 50 over here. I think we're long 20s, but here's the deal. We're going to give this to 05, so we will give back a little bit if it does lose the bid. I want to keep my eye out on this one. Very aggressive to the downside. We'll stop out there for about a 10-penny loss for the remaining amount. But here comes with 5 again. Can we get continuity on 5? So let's see if we can get some money. Oh, dang, that went away from me super quick. BAOS is really zigging and zagging here, guys. Be careful with this one. I'd like to pick up some at this $5 level. If we can get like a 505 money fill, something like that, maybe in and around there. Get me closer to 5. The idea being basically to wait for a 5 retracement and then we can get some more to the high side. So that's the situation right now. Let's go ahead and wear it at 498, and then I'm just going to go all the way down to 480s. We're taking out levels. All right, we're doing it live again over here. Here we go again on BAOS, man. This is really going. Let's wait at 69s again. We get lucky with this one. Let's see. Seller at 40 again here on BAOS. Long in the low 20s, taking out 40s, up 165%. Very strong, but quite bamboozling. Right back down into my entry again on this one. Do I add in the single digits? This is what I was waiting for, okay? So we don't add over here. Right back up into the 20s. So let's see if we can hold the 5. No, we don't hold the 5 again, so we get stopped out for that again on BAOS, Joseph. So keep my eye out on that. This one is losing the bid a little bit, so I don't want to be trying my luck too much with this one. So am I positive or negative on it? I'm probably negative on it right now because zigging and zagging. Oh, marginally positive. All right, let me think about this one for a second over here. Let's see if we can get in at 5. Is there a buyer at 5? Is there a buyer consistently at 5? No. No, so we keep dipping down a little bit below 5 right now on BAOS. So yeah, let's give, anytime I make the decision, bro, and then I'm about to punch in, it's like 30 pennies higher. That's how aggressive these bad boys are. So BAOS, oh my goodness, just took out highs. Just took out highs, was dilly-dallying, not punching in at 5, and it took out the high. 572 now, the high of the day. Keep your eye out on this one. It's really going right now, but as true to form, like with the other one, INHD, it is quite an aggressive name. So let's wait a little bit down here, see if we can get some money fills down into the 40s. It's not letting us in right now. It wants to take out high. 72 the high. It's at 69 right now. So there, it looks like it will take it out. There we go. So we'll keep an eye out on this one. What do you got?
Yeah, good look there, guys. So you can see here, my eyes are all on the mag here. I want to see what these big names are up to. If the SPY is going to continue to climb, then we're going to be sitting pretty good. Google making that move towards a volume-weighted average price. Meta putting in a high day. Microsoft still hovering around those resistance zones, and Apple just moving eastward. So have to be patient. This could be a good opportunity to add into the TQs here, guys. Maybe I'll do that. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna add just a little bit here. Nothing crazy on this pullback, and look for the continuation. We're holding view up relatively well. We're starting to pick up on volume on the higher time frames. I'm just risking some unrealized gains here. And if we continue to move higher and it looks like we're going to go and crack this pivot high right here, I'm going to add a little bit more as well. So there you go. You've seen this one. Entry, double it up here. And then this is only about another 10%, 15% add, I must say. So yeah, that's the game plan. We're going to hold on to these. I like your style. Reminds me of someone. Ooh, my guy, who it may be. What's for lunch? Let's go. Love it. The favorite. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to be patient. We're sitting pretty right now, risking some more unrealized gains on this, looking for the continuation. It's probably going to take a little bit more time than what I've expected, so I got to be patient. If we crack the volume-weighted average price, then I have to kind of start second-guessing, but it looks like some of the big names are on the up move, and that's a positive sign for me. So NVDL, possible add opportunity as well. So you can see that we broke out that volume was supporting the move, so beautiful on the volume by time profile. And then now, okay, this is actually picture perfect. Bam, we're just gonna hop into a little bit of a lesson here. So you can see we move higher, 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 consolidation phase on the pullback. You can see that the volume profile is starting to pull. You stair step down. Now that we break through, we sit on the backside of this trend. Look at the volume step in. We drew these lines earlier for you guys, right? So I didn't just put that up there, but look at that breakout volume supporting this. Now we move, we have steady volume, and then now look at this pullback volume. Really starting to stair step down and decay. That is a positive sign. This can give you potential add opportunities, and that's exactly what we're looking for. It's a beautiful thing. Let this market continue to climb. I liked what the boys were saying this morning too. I thought it was going to be a long out the gate, but today it seems to be a little bit more patient. A lot of choppiness. You had to wait for those liquidity grabs, but eventually they're coming in. I know Katina Man and Neil are most definitely taking advantage of them because Neil was getting out of NVDA near the highs, and Katina Man's probably still sitting in some of his longs longs. So he's looking good. We're going to be slightly more patient before we add here into NVDA, Sharif, but we're getting that move in the TQs that I kind of built out in my head, and I told you guys. So here you go. Look at that add here on the TQs, and now we're going to head towards that high day, adding another 10-15% right there, my guy.
All right, man. This is continuing to give you opportunity. So I got back in several times, scalping to the high side here on BAOS. It just took out 6. So this one's really going now, guys. 200% in the green right now. Here we go, just blowing through 6 like it doesn't even matter. We were defending 5. 5 was a very good technical area of support. Whether or not we get the same kind of action with 6, we'll have to wait and see. But you're getting that parabolic breakout right now into 220% now, 20% higher. Keep your eye out on this one. It's really got the bid. We got tape teleportation on right now. 6.25 support, generally holding 6. You're going to have to give this room. And make sure you got your stops ready, because you guys saw what happened to me on INHD, blow through the stop, and all hell breaks loose to the downside. They're around for a good time, not a long time, baby. So let's try not to make any mistakes on this one. Don't be me. Make sure you're using proper support, proper stop losses at key areas of support, and if they get breached, they get breached. It's a trade, not a marriage, baby, so we can let that one go super quick, right?
Either way, we let that go.
We're silly now, yo. We're silly now, yo.
I told her.
Wait till I meet her. I'm telling her that line, and it's live on the show. I'm marking this down right now. Hold on.
I told you what. Hey, man. I told her what you. Obviously, I told her what you said about the shirt too. That I told her.
You told her?
I ratted you out, man.
So you already hurt me.
Yeah.
So then I gotta get you back.
No, it's all good. I said Sharif knows that I got a sense of style. I'm like, hey, we both don't like it. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sharif knows I haven't said. See, you're black. She does it. I wouldn't have worn that shirt unless she bought it for me.
She bought it.
I know. So, well, you guys don't know. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, Joseph didn't like the shirt he was wearing in the old thumbnail, right? So we had Brendo bring Mark Anthony, who takes care of all the advertising. He's got a DSLR. Came in. We did the photo shoot again. I ended up looking like crap. This guy's happy with how he looked. Now we got one picture from the old photo shoot and one from the new one, and he's happy with how he looks. I'm not really jived with it, but that's okay there. No, seriously though, good luck here. BAOS, guys, topping tail into 647. We're about $1 lower now. Ew, this one's really losing the bid. But as we've mentioned multiple times, the topping tail is not the end of the deal with these small cap gappers. It's not like seeing it on the futures where it means something specific.
Oh, wow, Sharif,
go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead,
Google's
bro.
going parabolic right now.
I think
Google's really starting to move. Look at this massive, look at this massive engulfing candle right there. Google's looking really good, and you can see that volume supporting this here, running into these resistance zones. Boom, and it's really starting to pick up. It's going to drag the Qs higher, especially if we can get Apple to start moving now. So we're sitting in a good position here in the TQs long, Sharif.
Absolutely, Joseph.
There it is there. Google one more time. You can see that volume really start to step up.
Good luck there, man. Good luck. We hope you print up multiple storms off that, obviously. I'm just trying to get back into my BOS screen over here. It's back above 6, guys. So as I mentioned, these topping tails, they're not the end of the matter, right? Like they are a momentary kind of blip. So here we go again. Let's see if we can get something out of this. Let's go 588 there, and then we'll give this one to about right there. Let's see if we can take out some levels. Here we go, up into 20. Can we get anything above a 20? Not really. So this one definitely not selling at that 20, so we'll get out there for a bit of a loss. Now, we still have a lower low. This current candle that we're in on the 5-minute chart has a lower high, not lower low, lower high than the previous area or the previous candle. That topping tail that we had at 1230, that got to 647. This current candle that we have has a high of 635. So it looks like the sellers here moving their orders down, or the short sellers, whatever, the profit takers, the short sellers, whoever is selling in that 6.5, 6.33 is selling at incrementally lower levels. So that's something we need to be aware of, especially if we're going to post some profit takers above that level. You got to shake those sellers or those short sellers before you can take out those profits. And look at this one come down aggressively. We may go red on this candle over here if we end up losing that 550. We'll talk more about that when we get back from Madeira.
Looked into Google. I'm not seeing any news, but there's one thing I saw earlier today that I think is at the very least interesting. Google changed its G logo. The logo on the left here is the former G. This larger, more gradient-esque logo on the right is the new Google G. Again, this is I am sure not why it's moving. From what I see on social media, it's just a lot of people really excited about the stock and its valuation, etc. But I thought either way, interesting to note, Google got a new logo. Back to you.
Interesting. That's a really interesting there.
The gradient fill? Or
No,
the
the people being interested about the valuation, because you and I were talking about that exact thing last week. I feel this company has been unfairly treated. I think this company has a lot more to offer than what the market is pricing in. I don't care if their search is going to get disrupted. It accounts for 50% of the revenue, and we haven't even seen them monetize Gemini yet. Like, we haven't even seen that attempt. And to be fair, one of the things, I think one of the most underreported stories is the lack of advertising on any, well, the ones that I use anyway, of these LLMs. You don't get anything, no ads on chat. And I only use chat and Gemini. And if I use Gemini, I don't get any advertisements on Gemini either. So we haven't even started looking at that. Think about that.
Bro, that's such an unreal point.
Dude, and forget, look, you do understand how much the large language model knows about you? There was like this whole thing about on TikTok. It was like to ask chat, you've known me for whatever, let's just say 6 months, whatever the hell it is. Tell me 5 top things about myself. And it spews some next level stuff. Now imagine that kind of information being used for targeted ads.
That's
just
crazy.
think about that.
I didn't even think about that.
Right?
Yeah, that's such a fantastic point there, Sharif. I mean, yeah, from a monetization standpoint, they haven't even really started
No,
yet.
man, they haven't even started.
Man, imagine, so there you go, like OpenAI, imagine the ad revenue they can bring in from just using ChatGPT.
Dude, I again, man, I'm not a buyer of Google. I've never owned Google, but I think it is being completely unfairly treated right now by the market, and I think that will be reflected in the price later. I mean, that's just my opinion.
That's very valid, man.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot more to offer than than search. It's just, dude, they have that DeepMind team. Now I know that there's obviously been new players who are on the scene now in AI. It's not just DeepMind like it was 3 years ago. And you got your Mira Murati's opening up her own. You got Perplexity. You got Claude. You got Grok AI. You got everybody throwing their hat into the ring. I get all that, but I still think Google's got some of the most indisposable talent you can get out there in tech. So that's just my little 2 cents there. And
very valid.
Again, no conflict of interest. I've never owned this stock. Period.
There you go. Bang. Non-biased opinion, guys. Can we pull up my chart here real quick? All right. So there we go. As we cracked through that high day, I just started to take a little bit off there. I only took about 30% off throughout these two profit takers. So we're starting to pull back in now. I would like to see Meta break through that high day, or the pre-market, or head towards the pre-market high, and crack that. Tesla's starting to pull back in towards the volume-weighted average price. And this isn't the best signal right here either. This inverted print with that isolated signature. So just be cautious. But I mean, if we crack this, then there's going to be some more topside north of this candle print here. But if we don't, if we can't construct a new high, then and we head back in towards these lows, that's not a positive sign. So you can see buyers push price all the way up, and then sellers took control there. But we do have that isolated volume signature, so that might be a potential short. But we're going to be patient just in case we do decide that we're going to blow through those through the highs of this candle, and that's what I'm going to wait for. So, but we're still sitting good there in TQs, guys. You've seen what was going on that front. I'm not going to add to NVDA right now. I'm going to be more patient because it takes some more time. We went on a nice run there, and that volume was most definitely there, but it's starting to cool off now, as you can see here on the 5-minute time frame. So that buying pressure really starting to cool off, but we broke out nice, and hopefully this move can be sustained because this market can most definitely rally today, especially after this liquidity grab earlier in the session. We trade to a low of 120, and then now we're right back up at 122.50. Sharif.
Yes, sir. We got back into BOAS at 6, and we just took it out at 69. So super aggressive move to the high side. Now it's a 72 high a day. Keep your eye on this one. We don't even have a red candle yet, man. From 12:10 to current right now, every single candle on the 5-minute chart on BAOS is absolutely green, and it's continuing. Maybe not the higher highs on every single candle, like this one, for example, is a bit of an outlier, but you're getting higher lows on every single candle. This is very aggressive. So if you were to use, and I didn't use this, okay, I'm just saying, if you were to use the entry system of putting your stop at prior bar low, you're still holding this from $2.50 or wherever the hell the breakout happened. Let's see. I mean, we kind of got notice. I think Bovin told me about this at the first halt. It was halted at 341. So if you put your stop, for example, prior bar low, let's just start with this candle here at 12:15. The low there was 326. You're moving it up every time a new bar closes and you move it up to the prior bar low. You haven't been stopped out and you're still holding. Oh my goodness, it just took out the high again. 686 now is the high of the day on BAOS. What is this thing up now? Above it, man. Oh my goodness. I got to take off top W, BAOS. Let's 250% and going.
Wow.
Going still here, 717, Joseph. Looks like we could halt at 7. No, we're not. That was a false halt. Taking out that level, 721 now high a day. This thing is on one. It's picked up something on the weekend over there, clearly. Here we go, 721 high a day. I'm not going to punch in here. It's getting crazy. You got to wait for a micro pullback. 760 high a day. The parabolic nature of these ones never seems to, it always seems to surprise me, is kind of what I'm saying there. You kind of know that they do this, but I still get excited when they do them. So 760 high a day, keep your eye on the level. I mean, we're well extended above the 10, well extended above VWAP. You're going to need to get these on micro pullbacks because if you're going to wait for a technical level, you're going to be waiting a while and the trade may no longer be valid at that time. It's a 768 now high a day. Every time I look, it's a new high a day, up 270%. Yeah, we'll keep tabs on this one for certain. Let's see what else we got over here. I'm still holding WULF, still not printed here at 350. Also, I did scalp out some more here on Soundhound, and then I got stopped out as it did break VWAP. Now, it's right back above VWAP, SOUN. So the pattern is, I was worried about the lower high flat bottom break. So that's why I got stopped out there. Now, if it changes that, if it starts holding VWAP again, but most notably in this instance, what I'll look for is incrementally higher highs and higher lows. So that kind of curling effect off the volume weighted average price. If we get that, I'll punch back in to Soundhound. It's up 17%, and it's a name that a lot of us know. So maybe more traders are inclined to weasel in there. Bovin. LICN, another midday, and it's halted up. Let's have a look at LICN for the OG Bovin. LICN. Lycan International. Okay, what do we got over here, Bovin? We got, what's the volume? Bovin, it's 125,000 shares, my man, right? $3.45 million market cap, halted at $4.53. It's up almost 37% on the day. But as I prefaced right at the top there, it's got very, very light volume. Again, 125,000. Could have something to do with the current halt up. Let's flip to the 1 minute here and get a better look about how this one's been trading. That wasn't a halt. That was just no activity. Yeah, I'm a little bit less, I'm more reluctant, less inclined, more reluctant to want to weasel into this one. Looks like it's going to be a 10-minute halt here, Bovin, because I've got 2 dashes up on the said chart. So when you get 2 dashes like that, each one of those is 5 minutes. So this one will be likely a 5-minute halt. Guys, every time I look back at this monster BAOS, it's at another high, Joseph, 771. Ooh. Keep going, baby. Let's go. We're almost about 300% in Greensville right now. All the while, the other former triple-digit winner, INHD, looks exactly like this. Christmas in May, baby. Sell in May and go away, they say. Well, if you did, you missed a hell of a move up today on the market. Ooh. Don't do that. The sayings are just sayings. They rhyme, they sound good. But Joseph, yeah, we're up 3.5 today on your friend the NQ, almost 3 on the ES. Yep. You sell in May and go away. Well, you're just going away. Just going away there. You're not taking any profits. You're not taking any profits. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's what I'm talking about here. It's a headline-sensitive market, where I guess it's positive news, right? 4 years of this, Joseph. Exactly, and I'm okay. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it right now. You know how I tend to he'll flip the switch, bro. Real quick. Flip the switch on you like that. Yeah, real quick. Let's see if we pull up my screen here, guys. See if we get this fill here. Okay, there we go. We're posted up. We need that bid to hit the 30s, and then we will catch. There we go. Ooh. Let's go. Overall market. Let's go. And then we added to NVDL here. We doubled up the size, looking for the continuation and the break of the high day. Let me take a little bit more off for the peeps here, guys. Yeah, this is fantastic stuff.
Yeah, this is what we see. Obviously, shoulda, coulda,
Get it,
woulda
Joe.
been a little bit heavier, but yeah, there we go. Just chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. So there we go. Nice look here. Look at this here, though, guys. I mean,
What?
you can see we were in this position here on the TQs. I've seen this pattern starting to form, and then I enter, add, bang. We add again right there, and then sure enough, look at that there. So we'll be we're not actually I'm not happy whatsoever. I shouldn't say that, but there we go. We can see Microsoft really starting to break out. Look at that volume step in. This is exactly what we needed to see. You're cracking through key resistance zones. That volume supporting it. Wait for that potential retest, and you might get that continuation. Meta now through those pre-market highs. Google blowing past that volume price analysis.
Go Google.
Signal. So there we go. We're gonna hold on to. I still have. About 66% of my TQs, just a little bit under 60%, sorry, I should say, on my TQs.
Tiedemann is in that with you right now.
Yeah, he's in it right now too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna ride for this opening drive high. Let me pull it up for you guys. Yeah, so I want to get to that opening price here, Sharif. I think PDC, the king of all levels, previous day close and today's open. I'm gonna hold for that. So that's gonna put us around 65.86 here if we can get to that opening drive price. And I mean, if that volume continues to move and some of these big names are doing what they're doing, I think we have the ability to get to that level, Sharif.
Joseph, you know what time it is, right?
The playmaker? Nope.
No, not yet. We got 12 minutes. We're going to do the news. But I want to start with this headline. Obviously, this is not a trading headline, but one that made me very interested. Katina, man, you're going to be interested to hear this as well. Berkshire Hathaway owns 5% of the whole treasury market. What the bad word? That's insane, Adara. And that's not some random article that I got. That's straight out of CNBC. Berkshire Hathaway, Joseph, if I can show the screen, Assassino, $314 billion in U.S. treasuries, or as this article recites right there, thank you, about 5% of the entire T-bill market per, yes, your friends, our friend, everybody's friend, Jeremy, no, I know his name's Jamie, Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan. This is insane. That makes Warren Buffett's conglomerate the fourth largest holder globally, surpassing foreign banks, the Federal Reserve, local government pools, stablecoin reserves, and offshore money market funds. I really couldn't believe that, man. That's just crazy. We always know he does different stuff. He's a different beast. You know, he doesn't always do what the market does. You know, he shook off that. Remember when he had his Berkshire Hathaway conference and someone asked him about the recent market volatility? He kind of scuffed. And he's like,
You think he cares? He's been through it all.
He's seen it all. Yeah, he's seen it all.
Like, literally.
I just couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that kind of numbers right there, Joseph. Yeah.
5%, yeah.
5% of the, and we all know what the bond market is. It's exponentially larger than the stock market, the equity markets as we call them. So, you know, owning that kind of that treasury, I just couldn't believe that. Yeah. So fantastic look there, guys. All right, as we already know, if you don't know, if you're just joining us anew, the reason the market's up so big is because, yes, on the weekend, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, and I forget the other guy, Greer something or another. Thank you, Adara, appreciate that. I love how she's just coming in there. Thank you, Adara. Jameson Greer, who is obviously one of the representatives with the United States engaging in trade talks with China. They got a 90-day suspension for most tariffs. This is obviously kind of the calming of the trade tensions between the two countries. The reciprocal tariffs will be cut down from 125% by China down to 10%. That's a 115% reduction. However, the United States will still keep about 20% tariffs on China because there's going to be that 20% baseline, or sorry, the 20% fentanyl tariffs and 10% baseline, which will total about 30% still imposed on the import of Chinese goods into the United States. Now, it's not active yet. The pause will begin on Wednesday following the talks in Switzerland, of course. Further negotiations, will continue, but there's no full rollback yet. Both sides describe the talks as positive, and we've seen the market reaction, so no surprise to us there. There are some remaining uncertainties. We already saw the Chinese government restrict the exports of rare earth metals, rare earth elements, whatever you want to call them, to the United States. Those still haven't been rolled back yet. Will they get rolled back, or are they going to be part of a bigger trade deal coming up in the futures? Then Chinese need a couple of cards there in their negotiating strategy, so they hold on to these. Also, will the U.S. continue to kind of push its allies or its trading partners or whatever, friends, to kind of restrict Chinese trade? What about the long-term path for structural trade reform between the two nations? We'll have to wait for a full, comprehensive trade deal to be announced to kind of get more about that. But obviously a very short-term, well, I don't want to say short-term, but a very bullish, catalyst nonetheless. Apple as well in the news today, reportedly planning to raise prices for its upcoming fall iPhone lineup, according to, yes, the Wall Street Journal. Joseph's pissed. The shares jumped, obviously, about 7%. They're about 5 2/3 right now on the news, reflecting investor optimism around margin expansion as well as a new product cycle strength. Here's the deal. So Apple apparently is looking at pairing the price increase with new features and designs and updates to justify the hike. Critically, they want to avoid the perception that the price or increases because of U.S.-China tariffs, especially because most iPhones, as we know, are assembled in China. Obviously, there's been a shift to India as of late, but the majority of them still being manufactured in China. Apple is undergoing, obviously, internal reorganization, much to my pleasure. Management has shaken up its global affairs divisions, Joseph, and the music divisions with, obviously, new Siri engineering leadership aiming to revitalize the AI voice feature. And this signals Apple is preparing for a more aggressive innovation cycle amid, obviously, the very competitive AI market. Now, we already saw heads roll. We saw the head of AI get pushed out and a new individual brought in as a result of the fiasco. Let's call it the Apple AI fiasco that took place earlier this year. And if you don't know what that is, I mean, just quick gander there. Anything you want to add before I jump in?
Yeah. Let's pull up this chart here, guys, as the market continues to climb higher. So we're just slowly piecing it out here on the TQs. Happy, again, well, I guess I shouldn't say happy, but look, we just stuck to the plan. We added on that pullback in the continuation of strength, just using the volume profile to identify which direction the market may be moving. And you can see here, we started really, really slow. This is where you add right here. We add at this, but we did not. But we waited for that pullback, hold of the volume weighted average price, and then we get that add right there. So working out really good for us, just chipping away here, chipping away. And then let's pull up NVDL. We took another little bit off here, right here, guys. So there we go. Down, long NVDL all the way down here from 43s. Now just below 44s here, we piece out slowly, and then we just add back what we pieced out here, doubling up the position back to original size, and then slowly just taking some out here once again. So let's go. Let's let this pot continue to cook. It's just a slow cooker today, but it's looking really good in the markets today.
Your boy found a tire here, man. So I told you how much these you-know-what cost, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just found one 99% tread, Joseph.
Ooh, let's go.
Yeah. Pirelli Scorpions, 22s. Scorpion, right? He's selling it for a really good price here, man. It took me forever to find this.
Find them? They're actually gonna go grab them after.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'll get them today, but you know.
Yeah, I mean after the show.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see where this dude is, because you know Toronto, bro. You can be like 2-hour drive. It can be a 10-minute.
You don't even understand.
Right?
So okay, so from my place to the outdoor workout gym, it's either I run or I could drive. It's a 5-minute drive. But then like Liberty Village is so packed. They had another 10K. They had another 10K race this weekend. So what would take me 5 minutes to drive somewhere took me 35 minutes, and it's just like, man, you can only deal with that stuff for so long before you
and you start losing your temper, and then your driving suffers because you hate everybody.
Yeah, I had the woo-saw, right? I'm like, I know I'll get there, but it's like, it should not take this long. You know, Olivia, hopefully you're listening. We need more. I'm glad that you're
Olivia Chow?
Yes.
Get her on the phone, bro.
I'm glad that we're adding those traffic control people to the streets, but we need more of them.
Joseph, we need AI, man.
We need AI.
We need AI at the traffic lights, bro.
We need to. No,
you're telling me.
No, dude, we need completely new infrastructure design.
Pardon me, Katina Man? 265, 40 R22, Katina Man. Pirelli Scorpion.
He's got a guy. Katina
Man's on the phone.
He's got a guy.
All right, Katina Man, if you can get me those for a good price, oh
got
my
a guy.
God.
He's on the phone right now.
Look at him, like, he looks so sinister and up to no good.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to the Katina Man.
In him. But I mean, we got to find something because I think it's the crosswalks and the public transit that really slow everything down. So if we can start, this is my thesis, Sharif, start building bridges of the major intersections so people can walk across them and we don't hold up traffic as much, I think that's a good place to start.
Adair, can I read this? Yeah. Adair, Sharif, unsure if you're aware, but Olivia Chow, which is the mayor of Toronto, guys, loves making cameos in local productions. She made a pre-filmed appearance in a play Saw around Xmas and played herself in Law and Order Toronto. I did not know that, Adara.
Tongue.
Get it, Olivia.
My grandma watches Law and Order in Toronto. Now you know.
All right, let's see. We got a super chat here from our friend Mubtasim, the Smiler. Ooh. That's what that Mubtasim means in Arabic. Sharif, my man, how's everyone at the desk? Big A, Joseph, Neil, Sean, and the crew. What's the verdict on BAOS? Is it tanking and halted down? Any entry? It is all the way down here.
Ozan, you see what Ozan said?
What Ozan say?
Ozan said, Joseph, please pick me up from the airport.
I love this guy, bro.
Hey, man. We got to meet this guy. Yeah.
So let's show BAOS for the OG Mubtasim over here. Man, BAOS, it was a good one. It was good to me, Mubtasim. But up into 830 it goes, and all hell breaks loose. To the downside, it looks like it's going to be a V or an upside down V retracement. Mubtasim, the deal with these ones is, bro, I got a couple of very basic rules. If they traded in the pre-market and they have a definable pre-market high, they got to be above that high. That's rule number one. Rule number two, see that white line on my chart? Always be the white line on my black charts. That's the volume weighted average price. The price has to be above that for me to get involved. Right now, it's substantially below that. So this one does look like it's giving up the ghost Mubtasim. But if it gets back above, let's say that $6 area, I'm all ears, eyes, and whatever other sensory organ I have in my body. We'll keep an eye out on this one. Let's go ahead here with the news. We'll continue over here. Assassino, we'll talk about these pharma stocks. Donald Trump dropping a tweet or whatever they're calling it, truth, yesterday, letting us know that his attempt to lower drug prices will happen again. Now, we saw what happened in Trump 1.0. He tried to do the same thing from a different route, and the courts gave him a gesture. And it was not a flattering gesture. What I'm trying to say is he tried to reduce the price of drugs first time around. The pathway that he took was kiboshed by the courts. He'll have to take a different one, and that's what he's trying to say he's going to do. So here's what he's proposing, guys. On Truth Social, Trump said he'll implement what he calls a most favored nation pricing rule. What is that most favored nation pricing rule? The U.S. will pay no more than the lowest price paid by comparable wealthy nations. The policy here aims to eliminate the U.S. premium, he calls it, on prescription drugs. Just, quick digression over here. Canada, we pay way, way less for our drugs than you guys pay there. A lot of you guys come up that live in the border cities. You come up to these border cities, get your prescriptions filled here, then weasel back down there. I don't blame you. It's substantially lower here. We have regulations on that. It looks like he's looking at doing the same thing. He cited a 2024 HHS study showing that the U.S. pays approximately 4 times more than peer countries. That's criminal, man.
It's criminal.
When it comes to drugs, I have a bit of a different opinion on that. I usually am in favor of the government staying out of business, but, there are certain exceptions here. All right, the U.S. is the largest, obviously we know, and the most profitable market for most of these global pharmaceutical firms. A drastic price in the U.S. prices could force global repricing. In other words, they may have to boost the price in Canada. They may have to boost the price in Europe to bring equilibrium. That will obviously displease those jurisdictions, but very much please the United States. European drug makers here are apparently the most exposed due to heavy U.S. sales mix. So the investor takeaway here, investors should watch out for details of the most favored nation rollout timeline. Should also keep your eye out on legal challenges, because we got that in Trump 1.0, and keep your eye out for sector rotation into less exposed healthcare names or biotech niches. We'll keep that, obviously. Chinese EVs, obviously, are up big. I don't really want to talk about these ones either. Obviously, okay, so this headline here, shipping stocks, surge on U.S.-China tariff pause. So, for example, I'll just give you some tickers here you can look at. You got Maersk. It's obviously on the OTC. It's not none of these ones are listed on the New York exchanges or the Nasdaq. Some other ones though, you got Frontline, Dorian, Navigator Holdings. These are up substantially in the pre-market. You got also shipping container Zim, which Adair told me has a very big short float. Third-party logistics and delivery, you got UPS, FedEx, Amazon, obviously. A lot of these names are up big on the day of, the perception that trade will increase again. We talked about ports being kind of empty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, NVDA is tanking here, guys. So good out by me. I told you I was just essentially free rolling, right? I'm just using my unrealized gains here, guys, to kind of just acquire more shares. And that's what happened. I just punched out my last bid here. Now you can see it broke through. We couldn't break and hold that high, this previous peak high here, this pivot high. So yeah, I just got out. So nice out there on the backside of this trend, just keeping whatever remaining I had on that front. So that's that. We're all out of NVDL now, guys. Missed opportunity, even though it was a positive trade. We should have had this locked in here for significantly more shares, but that's okay. Let's go to TQs. We're still sitting in about just a little, let's see, about half of what I had from the original position. So we're okay with that. Let's see if we can continue to climb. Let's see what my target's going to be before I send it back to my guy so he can do his news. And I mentioned that it's going to be the opening price, so you can see at 506 on the TQs, and that's going to put us at some pre-market support levels low. So you can see that support system right here, opening price. That's going to be the target. Let's see if we can get into that. And I mean, if we exceed that there, Sharif, then it's the pre-market high. That's a potential next target there as well too.
All right, just one sec.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. I
think I found it.
Let's go. Let's go Apple. Take some shorts. NVDL. Let's go. Okay, Jay Lee. I see. I know.
Get it, Jay.
Shorts. Yeah, we should call you the new Big Spile, the one who always like shorting everything.
Yo. We can't do that.
Can't do that. We can't do that. Sorry.
He's not in the chat as much anymore, Katim, man, but he's still watching the show every day. And he's still trading.
He's like Batman, you know.
He is, yeah. I hear from him all the time. I put a picture of me and my mom, Dukes, up for Mother's Day, and the first thing he said was like, I had a soul patch right there. He's like, did the same hairdresser that did your eyebrows do your soul patch? I was like, bro, that guy's he's just dunking on me all the time, bro. Leave me alone, man.
What is that?
This was like 20 years ago. That was the style, man. What do you want, Big Style? You should know about that.
With the little patch right there?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
This was 2007, man. Leave me alone. It was 20 years ago.
Oh, your throwback.
Yeah. My mom doesn't like me to put pictures of her looking old.
Oh.
She doesn't like that, Joseph.
She don't like that, but she's looking. I mean,
can't upset the mom Dukes there, bro.
Nice and youngly, so still looking obviously gorgeous as always. That's all the mothers look.
Hey, look at this guy. It's like slickster there.
Yeah. So
definitely, hey, this guy does good with the parents.
Yeah, I'm good with.
You're good with the parents.
You know what it was though? My grandparents always taught me manners. So I remember when I was a kid. Remember when you always used to have your friends?
Yeah.
So I wasn't allowed calling them and asking for somebody unless it started with, "Hi, may I please speak to so and so?" Right? So hey, shout out to them and all my buddies' parents always liked me because I started the conversation.
Never miss an opportunity for a good first impression, bro.
Right? And it's always like, thank you very much, please. Thank you. You know what I mean? I think manners are huge, and that's what we're trying to teach my boy.
Man, I love hearing that, bro. You have no idea, dog. All right, we're doing it live here. Go ahead.
One second. Continuing to climb here in the market. NVDA pulling back a little bit, but these big names are starting to climb. This is what we want to see. Google running into some overhead resistance. It can't break that pivot, that isolated signature, and that inverted doji that I was referring to you guys. If we can break that, then I think there's going to be some positive signs in the market. But I'm going to trim about 20% right here, guys.
All right. Just got into Soundhound again, and we just took out there the beak wet are at 82s. Good look up here for Soundhound. I did get stopped out for the remaining amount. A little displeased with that, but as I mentioned, if this one started showing me higher highs and higher lows, I'd punch back in. That's exactly what I did. So let's see if it can work its way back close to the high day. We had a momentary breach of 11. I believe we got into about 11.22, 11.21. Let's see what it does with 11. Whether or not we get a lower high at that $11 could present us with a nice short, possibly into that volume weighted average price. But it's picking up steam here, man. It's moving in a way that it hasn't moved all day. Here's a look at the 5 right now. So it's starting to look like, 1030 all over again for your friend Soundhound when it was looking real good. That was the break up there after that initial bull flag. You get the big break up right at 930. You get the bull flag pattern. You don't get the second bull flag. You get a V-shaped retracement. So it looks like it's going to be a second bull flag, but we know what the deal is there. It's got to manifest before we can take it. In any event, this is where I got pushed out. This crappy candle that pushed us below that 10.5. I submit to you guys that was a specialist breakdown to get everybody stopped out before we made our way back into highs again. Here we are, 1088. Looks like we're about to hit 1090. SOUN up over 21%. Fantastic look. Now, I remember this one used to have quite a large short float. Get it, Joe?
Wow, yeah. We're breaking out bigly over here, Sharif. Wow, look at the TQs go. Tesla's starting to move towards that high day. Meta has just blown past those pre-market highs, so that's a beautiful look. Let's see what Microsoft's up to.
What is
it? Send it back to my guy, and it is continuing to move. Check out the volume profile, Sharif. Looking really good, and you can see that market just absolutely roar to the top side. This is what I was saying, guys. I was more than halfway down my shutdown, and I'm on the border of being green right there off of 2 wins. I've started like 1 for 5 or something like that. Over 5, we'll even call it, because I only locked in a little bit. And then off of 2 solid trades, you have the ability to go back green. I'm not there yet, but again, we just eliminated the majority of 99% of our losses off of 2 trades right there, Sharif.
All right, there's a whole bunch of small cap gappers that are going, so I'll just get to them in a second. But in any event, let's just talk about this one real quick. As I mentioned, the shipping companies and everything kind of shipping related, tankers, product tankers, containers, international carriers, they're all up big on the day on the hopes that trade between China and the United States will kind of pick up again. We will go to Adara and then we'll be back.
Sorry for the interruption there, Sharif. This is what we were talking about earlier. It was Google. We were wondering why it was moving. Now, I'm not sure this is the reason, but either way, an interesting catalyst just coming out for Google. The company announcing via its, it looks like one of its blogs, that it's introducing its AI Futures Fund. Through the AI Futures Fund, powered by Google, they're going to be investing and collaborating it with ambitious startups in the AI space. So GeoOGL basically starting what sounds like a bit of a Y Combinator for AI startups, guys. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. Yeah, the entire market's breaking out here, guys. So let's have a look at the charts. This is the Mag 7, obviously, with the futures at the top right corner. Everything is taken out. You're either above the volume weighted average price or you got into highs. Case in point, Meta at high, Microsoft at high, Google at high, Nvidia's at high. The ones that are not at high, the futures, Tesla, Apple, and Amazon. Those ones were already stronger to start the name. I want to say that Meta's the exception to that rule. Microsoft's still flat, 1.85, but that does make sense to me because Microsoft has been very strong as of late, subsequent to its earnings report. So definitely had the least amount with which to move up, but it's still a positive on the day, just south of 2%. Keep your eye, though, on the 210, 211 level on Apple. I don't know if, Joseph, you have had an opportunity. I can do it right here. I've got my options chain. Let's bring this down. Let's have a look at the... Now I'm going to look at Apple. This guy, he loves the options chain. Let's have a look at the dead one over here. See what that 210 is looking like, Joe. The open interest on the calls. Sorry, this is kind of small. 32,000 contracts, Joseph, at 210. I don't see anything here at 211, but above that, we got to go to 220 to find anything as large as that, 29,500. So that 210 level is going to be hard to close above, my man.
Absolutely.
I think you would agree with that. So keep your eye out on that. So the options chain, obviously a fantastic and an invaluable tool to kind of gauge where resistance is. Yeah, so that's the look there. Good look right now for the Mag and the overall market.
Yeah,
Let's
great.
flip, unless you have anything to say. I'm just gonna
I'm going to pull this up here, guys, again. So just an absolute beautiful move here again. So into this position, add it, and then we add on that micro pullback. I forget who was asking about micro pullbacks the other day, Sharif. And I don't know if this is necessarily one, but we're getting on the kind of the border of that. You can see that the breadth was there. And I just mentioned that on the pullbacks, you see that volume really start to fall off a cliff and stair step down. Whether it be 2 or 3 bars, you want to see when we're appreciating in price, you want to see that volume start to stair step higher, and then on the pullback, you want to see it start to stair step down. Here, I'll draw it so you can see it. I mean, we have some live examples, but sometimes it's just easier if I just draw it, display it for you guys. So we're climbing in price, so pretend the price is appreciating. This is what we want to see from a volume standpoint. It's like, okay, yep, that's volume signature 1. This is volume signature 2, right? And then volume signature 3. And then as we start to pull back, this is what we want to see. This is the, this is the pullback volume, pullback volume, pullback volume, buyer step back in, buyer step back in, right? And that's exactly kind of what we're seeing, right? That's not the best example, but you kind of get the gist of it right there, Sharif. So yeah, that's what we got going on. We're still cooking up in the TQs.
Okay, man.
Have 30% left, just a little bit under 30% of what I started with, and I'm just gonna let this ride. Yeah, I mean, dude, I was totally red on the day. I wasn't too far. I told you I was mentioned over half my shutdown, but now we just grind back with my unrealized, and we're essentially flat on the day. So we're happy with that.
All right, fantastic, guys. Let's talk a little bit about this because we talked about earlier in the morning. We talked about we didn't really know whether the reports were true, that the tariffs had been hurting the Chinese economy more than the American economy. A lot of that has to do, obviously, with the kind of, I don't want to call it a black box in China, but it's a lot harder to get real and consistent and accurate and up-to-date information as it is, in the States. So here's some of the stuff that's coming out about the damage that has been done as a result of these really elevated tariffs, which again, in case you're just joining us, are set to be suspended for 90 days on Wednesday. So Hunter Co., for example, that's a toy supplier for Walmart and Target. They slashed their output at its China-based factory by 60 to 70% because of those 145% tariffs. Effective April, obviously, that sparked a sharp drop in orders. The CEO of that company, Jason Chang, is rushing apparently to move production to Vietnam. This is again before the announcement this weekend. And apparently that's what a lot of companies were doing. They were stopping their Chinese production, moving as much as they could, as much as logistically was possible, to lower tariff jurisdictions. Is that the Chilean nightmare? Of course it's the Chilean nightmare, bro. We saw what you did there on the position board. We see you, sir.
That there. Let's go.
Look at this guy, bro. He's just constantly. Okay, so I just want to point out to everybody, we got a brand new theme on right there. There's depth. Have you not noticed? There's depth. There's a border now, man. There's depth to all this stuff.
Okay.
The Chilean nightmare is killing it.
Yeah, man.
I like those icons a lot more up to date for me anyway. Whoa, welcome to the new look, folks. He's been working on this for a while. I just couldn't say anything.
There we go.
Right
Look how quick we realized that too. I'm like, oh, position board is new.
There you go. I like that.
You got the SPY price in the corner as well too.
So what we're long and we're short on, it's super clear, and like everything's green and red. Fantastic look right there, man. Shout out to the Chilean nightmare.
Money move.
Killing it, man. He's always doing that stuff, bro. He's always doing it. Let's continue on here, Joseph. So what I was trying to say was a lot of Chinese companies or manufacturers, they don't have to be Chinese companies, they were trying to get the hell out of China. Whatever was feasible to be produced in Vietnam or lower tariff jurisdictions, they were trying to do that. Now, here's the deal for the toy industry. Just to give you some idea of what we were looking at in terms of a hit, about 80% of all the toys imported into the United States come from China. 80%. The Toy Association reports about 45% of all small, mid-sized U.S. toy companies could have gone out of business within months if the tariffs persisted. Mattel, one of the biggest names, Hasbro as well, they plan to raise their toys prices by Christmas, obviously citing increased import costs. And then you had retailers, for example, like Walmart and Target, started asking their suppliers to resume shipments from China, right? Retailers planned, again, to this weekend, they planned to absorb some of the tariff costs, but that hasn't stopped the supply chain crunch. So a bit of a tougher look there. And obviously, all that information now is up in the air because of the recent changes on the weekend. Last but not least here, Joseph, I got Shopify, if you have anything to say before I jump into this one. Anything for you?
No, I'm still sitting good. I'm just looking at the top performing sectors,
no worries.
But we'll go over that after.
Sounds good. Shopify, guys, will move from the NYSE, the New York Stock Exchange. It will now move to the NASDAQ. The reason for that, because it announced that it will join the NASDAQ 100, the NQ 100, coming on May 19th. So that is, I believe, the end of this week. That's Friday. It will replace MongoDB MDB. So if you're a more experienced trader, you know there's a trade to be had here. It's called additions and deletions off an exchange. So MongoDB will likely be sold by all the ETFs who shadow the NQ100. And again, all the other ETFs that shadow the NQ100 will have to put Shopify into their ETF. So there's usually a buy and sell imbalance there. I'm not going to really go into it any more than that, but there is a trade to be had for these additions and deletions, one that we learned here on the floor. They reported late last week, and it was a pretty good report by most standards. The guidance was decent. It was slightly below consensus, but they did beat for the current quarter. That was Q1 of 2025. You can have a look at some of the information there. Why this matters? Because the NQ100 inclusion, it boosts your visibility and it forces, as I mentioned, ETFs and index fund buying. Also, the Q1 for them highlighted Shopify's resilience in e-commerce despite macro uncertainty with tariffs and whatever, and their gross merchandise volume, which means all the volume or the products that were bought on the sites that they host, the amount of that was up 23% year over year, which obviously confirms strong transaction volume and merchant engagement. So not a bad look for the Canadian company. Shout out to Shopify.
Shout out to Shopify there, guys. All right, yeah, beautiful look there. Fantastic news as always, and it's so important for us to understand this. We like technicals and everything along those lines, but the fundamentals can justify why we have certain technical movement. I think the 2 and 2, again, we don't like to mix them too much, but at some point they have to come into play, right? You can't just have, even though there you have the kind of that black swan or the black sheep, whatever it may be, where you're kind of moving outside of the fundamentals. But don't forget, fundamentals essentially drive. If the company's not doing any good, the chances are it's not going to be doing very well technically either, right? So it's good. We don't want to always base our theses off them. We need to, as day traders, we want to use the technicals, but the understanding of the fundamentals are extremely important. So yeah, thanks for that. All right, guys, let's go over the top performing sectors here as well. All right, so let's pull up this here and see what we got going on. Let me close this here. All right, so the top performing sectors here on the day. Why is it like frozen? All right, there you go. All right, it doesn't want, it wants to be like that. All right, okay, so you guys can see here, consumer discretionary up there 4.8%, technology 4.4%, industrials 2.8%. Healthcare, so a lot of green. The staples and utilities are the only red sectors here on the day. Real estate not doing too well either, but I mean still positive, up about 0.4. So there you go, really, really good look. And NVDL, man, shook me out of that one. I mean, I was free rolling and I knew it was a gamble chasing it all the way up there, but that's okay. And I mean, there's still some room for these big names to run. Amazon, just like it's starting to get moving here, guys. As you can see, we're now above the volume weighted average price. I don't know what that is. So that's looking absolutely good. And let's see if Tesla can continue to climb higher. So Erhardt, really nice trading there on Tesla, my friend. Thank you for sharing that. And guys, I know we only got about 40 minutes left, but if you want me to go over and review some of your trades, you know what to do. DM me at TraderTVJoseph, and I'm going to scroll through them and continuously go through some of the banger trades that we got going on. So you guys are going to get those big shout-outs. I know you see ours throughout the day, but I want to see what you guys are trading too, because I learned from Havana Woody. Havana Woody's always sending me intense grok material that I have to thoroughly read through multiple times because he's a lot smarter than I am, and so I have to like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But Havana likes using grok. He sends me his data all the time. So yeah, I'm curious to what you guys got going on. Feel free to message me your trades. Make sure you have the kind of like your trade thesis, entry, stop loss, kind of how I use my tool, right? Just be like entry 1, partial, and you can see how I post on X. I just identify entry 1, entry 2, partials, stop loss, take full L's, etc. So go ahead and DM me your trades on the day, and let's go over some of them, guys, because I'm really interested to see what everyone else is cooking up. Okay, so I mean, that's the thing here, right? Got to pay attention at times. So at that peak, right above the opening price. And I told you this was going to be the primary target. We're starting to pull back a little bit now. We're south of that opening price here on the day. So I got to start thinking, we just got a big spike. But yeah, Adara's got some news for us. I want to note one thing before we go to Adara is that look at the volume here, the volume profile. You can see that we start to stair step higher, and then now on this pullback, we're stair stepping down. But if that volume starts to accelerate, then we might be in trouble. So let's see what Adara's up to, guys.
No news, we're going to take a moment to thank our friends at ProfitX. In sports playing, flexibility is everything. At ProfitX, you can see the order book just like a financial exchange. Pick your spot and customize the odds to fit your risk. Why settle for a single offered price when you can set your own? Plus, our mobile interface makes it easy to play on the go. ProfitX, where you call the shots anytime, anywhere. Users can use code TraderTV to get our sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adair.
Yeah, thank you as always, Adair. Very much appreciated. 2NY. I don't know if you're joking or being serious.
What do you say, Joe?
You said, Joe, if you can look at grab or asset, that would be nice of you. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I can completely see why you would be sus.
You know what I mean? I'm like, all right. You know what I mean? It's like, all right.
Oh,
you know what I mean? If Selena was around, maybe that.
Ooh.
There you go, guys. Yeah, this is a SSET entities right here. Smart look. I mean, just moving with the overall market. Obviously, this beginning bit is a little choppy mess here, but continuing to move higher. Are you going to reach this high today? Maybe, possibly, but it doesn't look like it, to be honest with you. But holding this 720 level relatively well. So good look there on a SST, and then we'll look at Grab, G-R-A-B. Grab holdings. Oh, okay, yeah, I wouldn't even trade this 2NY, to be honest with you. I'm not going to get involved in this. Look at this price action right here. That's just pure barcode algo trading, and I don't want any part of that. But, Sharif, I want to add to your point.
Yes, sir.
On Apple, where was the highest level of open interest?
We talked about 210 and then being a little bit lighter in the 220, and then lo and behold, look at this.
Boom.
Look at it.
You know what I mean?
Can I say one thing, though, Joe?
Absolutely.
You see that ascending wedge?
See, I see it. I see it, brother.
So it could
Here, I'll
not
draw it
today,
I'll see it.
maybe
I'll draw
not
it.
tomorrow, but in a couple of days. You know, that to me, that ascending wedge looks like it's
there you go.
prime.
I mean, but see, that's the thing here. Just to add to this point, like say we chop around within this here, and then you see that volume start to kick in. Again, this is going to be quite a bit of time of chopping around and bringing it to probably 230. But as long as you don't sit on the backside of this trend, you might be able to continue right there. Yeah, there it is. Nice ascending wedge. Price starting to compress. You can see the ebbs and flows within the market. But 210 coming into play, as Sharif mentioned. And that's the one thing, right? It's like, okay, why are we consistently respecting this level from an intraday standpoint? Well, look, we're trading above it in the pre-market, right? You can't close options contracts in the pre-market, but as soon as we open up, we haven't had the ability to breach it and hold above. So that's a fantastic look. When you mentioned that 210, I had to pull up the actual chart to see what was going on. And sure enough, there you go, coming into play once again. So that's why we love using the chain.
Absolutely, man. And like, let me give you credit for that. Like, I knew what the options chain was, never employed it into my trading.
Man,
never employed it in my investing. Nothing.
To be honest with you, I started using it significantly more heavy around you guys because I'm like, man, these levels are really coming into play, and it's just an in-depth look. It's like, why haven't I been using this tool for longer, especially with the information that it relays to you? I told you guys it's almost like a book map minus the heat.
Oh.
You get to see the orders significantly more clear, and it can tell you a substantial amount.
There you go, man. All right, guys, here's what I'm looking at right now. We're still involved in one trade. Well, I'm involved in a couple of trades. I got back into CISO. I'm looking for that 142 break. I'm going to add into the volume weighted average price. It's been holding that $130 like a glove, initially an area of resistance on our way up. Now that $130 looks like it's adding into or acting as support. So I'm looking at building a position for a possible break through that $142. It was a hard road to hold there initially. We'll see if it ends up being that way. The trade that I've been holding since basically the start of the show, WULF, generally respectful of that either 10 or 20. Most of the prints I'll submit to you, they'll find support at the 20, but we are in a bit of a 3-candle retracement, 3-candle red retracement here. I would say that's the heaviest or the longest, not the heaviest, the longest retracement we've had on the day. Most of the other retracements have been 2 candles at most. None have been 3. This is the first 3-1 right here. So a breach of that the volume weighted average price gets me out, which is essentially right at my break even right now. So WULF, maybe the best trade is behind it. Sound, I got into this one because it started trading higher than this range. Now look at it. Now it's using the top end of the range, essentially 1070, as an area support. So use 1070 for no end. It was resistance, essentially, since we lost it at 1125, and it was doing that until we regained it at 105. Now it's using 1070, 10 high 60s, you guys get what I mean, as an area of support, with that local area of resistance still being about 1092. It was not able to work up, into 11, at least on the last little time. So that's the situation now. So I've gotten all my ads right now on my friend CSIO. So let's see if we can wet the beak here at 139, and then I'll wait at 140 as well. We just took out 139. Good look there. Let's load up sound, because I'm probably going to work right back into that now that I've identified that 1070 support. Let's go ahead and get some shares in here, and what I'll do is I'll try to get some money fills to the downside, okay, for that 1070 drop and pop. If that is going to be the case, then I want to get the money fills, the ones that are closer to that area of support, rather than trying to get them, just at the high. So let's go ahead and put some profit takers as well on this bad boy in case it really starts getting going over here. So we'll put, there we go. We'll layer those orders and see what we get, and we will not get upset. Shout out to my man Neil, keeping an eye out there. All right, guys, choose your winner, fighter. Yeah, good point. Rigetti. Knees are heavy. NVIDIA, you saw your boy there, Joey Options, in that NVDL levered product. NVIDIA on there. JD as well with these ADRs moving up, and JD's reporting soon, correct?
Yeah, I believe this evening or tomorrow.
I can double check.
Tomorrow morning, around 4:30.
Tomorrow morning, said Adara.
Yeah,
it is. So May 13th, bang, get it, Adara. And then you have your friend Wayfair, guys, because Wayfair is up bigly on the day, about 22%. Want to let you guys know that Wayfair, according to Trade Ideas, 25.17% borrowed for short, with a float of around 100 million shares. So you do the math. That's crazy amount that's borrowed there. So keep your eye on that one. That could get parabolic. I'm talking about Wayfair, ticker W. Let's have a look at that chart super quick over here and get a gander of what the trade is all about.
Let's go.
Let's have a look. So it's a nice gap up on the day. We didn't even come close to filling that gap. Let's go to the daily. See what the daily looks like. Yeah, it's an ugly one. It's certainly ugly. I mean, those COVID highs, we may never see them again, but everybody was buying up a storm for their home during COVID. We weren't going anywhere, and so it's been down into the right since that time. Have a look at the weekly on this guy. Oh, it's not a good look. Oh my God, look at that COVID outlier there, man. That's a COVID outlier. You can just see it. It's ugly. Anyway, even since COVID times and subsequent, we've been putting in lower highs. So you could feel like the shorts have certainly been keeping this one down. I don't know if the company's justified to be up or not, or I really don't know what they're doing these days. Don't know about the health of the company. But we've had about 5 positive weeks since making those lows in early April, obviously as a result of the tariffs. We're up nicely off that. We're up, since the tariffs, we're up 78%. Not more, man. Let me take it from that very bottom. So from the very bottom of the tariff low to today's high, we're up almost 100%, 95%. But we got to get up a lot more than that to get back into those all-time highs. Let's find out what we need, Joseph. Joseph, we only need 1,600% to get back to the COVID highs.
Yeah,
that's it, Neil.
That's it.
I mean, it's not a big deal. That's not a big ask.
Remember your boy was trading that at the money show?
Oh, no, he wasn't on Wayfair. Was he Wayfair?
Remember he was
it at Wayfair?
Yeah, he was the
options wheel on Wayfair?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Dare, you remember that,
Yeah,
no?
she remembers
That guy was wild. He had like his whole thing set up. He did not care too much for day traders, if I remember correctly. He was a cool dude, and shout out to the Money Show.
Yeah, that was a good time. I did enjoy that.
We're fired up. I don't want to rush away the summer, but I'm looking forward to that once again.
Oh God, no! I don't want I want the summer to take its time.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to rush away, but it'll come when it comes. But you best believe the squad's going to be there.
I love these charts.
I love them.
I love these charts, especially when they don't spend that much time at a level. That's why I always advocate, guys, throw your resting orders out there for goodness sake, especially with these small cap gappers that don't care about your feelings, that like to retrace super quick. We got all the fills there super quick. Let's set up a little bit higher. Now we're going to set up north of that 142, but we did make a high a day on your friend CISO. Reason I got back into that, I really did love that 130 area support, and I put a bunch of dip trades there to account for that, and they all got filled, and all my profit takers got filled at last. Sadly, we're still negative on the day. We'll look to do a little bit better tomorrow. SOUN, I'm still involved with this one, looking for that 1070 hold up. I didn't get any dip trades, nor have I gotten any beak wetters. So keeping an eye out for SOUN, up 20%. You know, not a bad look on the day. And what's the short float right now in SOUN? We checked. Wow. Okay, so Soundhound Joseph, still a large short float, man. Wow. 33.42% of the about 360, a little bit less, million share float, borrowed for short. So going to be a very top-heavy name, but if we can squeeze out some people, you know what happens there. Like that guy that you dropped at the gym. It's gonna go
you know what's funny?
quick.
That came up in my memories today.
Oh, yeah? You want me to show everybody again?
Yeah, show them.
I got it.
And you got it?
Oh, yeah.
Show them. Show them people how we do out
Hold
here,
on.
man.
This is how we do.
You got to save that there, too.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about that, my boy.
Yeah, my boy.
Yeah, it's going to take me a... It's going to take me... Because you said...
Yeah. I'm going to pull up Soundhound here.
Yeah, keep going.
See what we got going on that front. See what we got from an options contract standpoint. 5K, 5.8K at 12. That's going to be the largest on this week's expiration. See, you know what? I think I sent it to you on X.
Where'd you send it to me?
Maybe on X. I know on Discord, I think.
Discord. That's right. Say less.
Okay, so let's pull up the overall market, and I want to see what we can gauge from an open interest standpoint here to see what we got going on for this week's expiration cycle. So it's going to be May 15th here, guys, I believe, right? Yeah. 16th, regular. Okay, 4 days. Yeah, there we go. Sick math, Joe. All right, 510, 510 with 15,000 current open prices there, guys. Open contracts, sorry. So maybe we get into those neck of the woods. I mean, that's not too far from here, so that can act as a magnet. So maybe 515 in the works for this week, which is going to be positive, right? Again, we can climb higher and then maybe reject that. But if we get any form of volatility and momentum, we're going to be sitting pretty here, guys. So 515, look for that to hold on the call side, that is. And then let's pull up the puts. 490 is looking like the low. Oh, 485. Might be the max. Ooh, 480, maybe max pain, I guess, considering that big gap up there, guys. So, 31. As I get down the chain, there's quite a bit of OI on this week's expiration cycle. I don't think we get down to 460 this week. I think something catastrophic would absolutely have to happen. And I don't think that's going to be the case. But I mean, considering that positive news. But 495, we're above that again. So let's see what Adara's got, guys.
Get it, Adara.
Harley-Davidson riding to the upside here. Apparently, the company has now cut its tariff impact estimate, so it's seeing $45 million in tariff savings, lowering its 2025 China tariff hit to $30 million to $55 million. But if 30% tariffs hold through the year end, the impact will drop a little bit more. So HOG on the move here as Harley-Davidson cuts its tariff impact estimate. Clearly, this being well received here by the market. Back to you.
Go ahead.
Cool. All right, man. Sharif wants to tell the backstory of the video of what's going to happen. So, all right, so what happens here is that other gyms, other local gyms, we go to each other's gyms and we spar each other's fighters, right? With same weight class, etc. So I was sparring throughout the whole day. I've already done like 9 Shark Tank rounds or something. I'm gassed. Forget what it was, but I was going. I put in a lot of work that day. Anyway, so this guy from my gym, his name was Joe as well too. And we used to spar a little bit. And we never really liked each other for whatever reason. So him and I go at it for a couple rounds, and I'm like really, really tired. And our coach is like, all right, that's it. And he goes one more round. And I didn't want to fight the round. I'm like, I'm so tired, I didn't want to fight it. But I couldn't let this other guy just like get a mental victory over me. So we go into this third and final round. I'm gassed, and then sure enough,
what happened?
We got to see what we're going to show him.
We're going to show
him what happened here.
All right, so here.
This is the final round.
This is Joseph right here on the left. He's the one with the sleeveless guy. Look at the guys trying to step on. Boom! my man, go to sleep. It is bedtime. Stay down. Don't try to get up, man. You know what just happened.
That was my old
Where
coach,
am
Sasha.
I?
That was my
Where
old
am
coach,
I?
Yeah, that was my old coach, Sasha, too. I didn't want to fight the round.
No, we're playing that again. Assassino, can you zoom in possibly on that a little bit? I don't know if you can. There we go. Assassino's going to do it right now. But check that check hook.
Yeah.
Check the check hook.
Boom. Yeah. I mean, like, the thing is, though, like, I was tired, and he was actually
there we go.
He was actually piecing me up. He was doing well. He was beating me. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to line this guy up because he was pissing me off. And then boom.
Oh, my God, with the headgear, too. Stay down, little man.
Yeah.
And look at Joe walks back. He's like, of course, I got that.
Honestly, that guy was he was
Look, you're talking
me.
smack. I can see you actually talking smack right there.
I'm like, he's done. I honestly, what I was saying to my boys, I'm like, he's done. Like, see you later. I'm done fighting, too, for the day. I was tired.
I love it.
And he was piecing me up, too. And I'm like, all right, that's it. I had enough of this guy. And I just waited. I knew what he was going to do, and I just set him up, and then I just hit him with that counter, right?
Soul.
And then, we didn't see him again after that, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't want to show up there either,
He did not come back to the gym
Get dropped like that in front of everybody to show your face up the next day.
And he was the one talking smack, too. So it's just like, man.
Good.
It is what it is.
That was a beautiful check hook, too. Yeah. And that's the thing. You're southpaw there.
No, that was a right. That was a clean.
That was a right,
yeah.
Okay, more of a roundhouse right than a straight right, but that was a beautiful book. Beautiful look. All right, man, here we're doing it live on SOUN, but before we do it live, we've got other things that we got to do here, Joseph. And my man, Ozan. Ozan, get ready, baby. This one's for you, Ozan. New traders, listen up, guys. The first month, absolutely, it is free. We're waiving the fees so you can trade smarter, not up harder, by upgrading to that elite experience where you'll be able to analyze, strategize, and then hopefully after that, you'll capitalize on their platform that has everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, and game-changing charts. Can also predict better with that great back testing tool that they've got. They've got reliable real-time data, global markets literally at your fingertips. It's an all-in-one platform, so do not miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan that QR code on the bottom right of your screen or click the link in the description. Shout out to the great folks there at eSignal. All right, guys, here's what we did. We took SoundHound live there at 70. We wet the beak a couple of times on this one. Initially entered at 66. Took out some there, added again on SoundHound at 75, and then took it out at 90 last. We don't have the high. It continues to go. It's working its way into 11. SOUN, what a fantastic look. We also got some on this one as well. Go, CISO, go. I was about to say Cisco. It's not Cisco, obviously. It's CISO, but it's got a $1.50 high there, Neil. Shout out to Cisco. Oh, man, Drew Hill was so good. So good. All right, this one's going, guys. $1.51 high right now. We just went the beak there at 49. It's not a bad look, but we're all done shares on this one. Good look and strong name, 46% at that $1.50. The volume is picking up on it. I got to tell you guys, it's still a little bit light. 5 4/5 million on $1.50 name is not exactly that much, but yeah. Breaking out and a predictable trade, Joseph Wilson.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Sweet Chin Music. There we go. Team PJCT.
He knows about that.
The Sweet Chin Music.
Patty says night, night.
Night, night.
Night, night.
Yeah,
Shout out to my man BPI. He saw the video. He knows what it's about.
I miss those days, man. Those were good times, man, especially during COVID. I had a sick fighting group and stuff like that.
That's sick, bro.
But yeah, I can't get my face banged up anymore because we're on.
You're on the show now.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't come in with shiners.
I got to get in. I got to get into the BJJ now, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, because you're not going to get rucked in your face there too much. But you get the cauliflower ear. But you can drain that bad boy.
Yeah, you can drain that stuff. Man, those hurt. Do you see what the fighters do? You see, like they intentionally try to get them to like toughen up their ear. So you grab like a plank of wood and you just like tap the ear. Yeah.
What's the purpose behind that?
Just to toughen the ear up. Yeah, because it hurts when they get swollen up and stuff like that.
There you go.
But yeah, there we go, guys. I just took. So I'm sitting on about 5% of my position, a little bit more, maybe 7.5. We'll call it here. I took some off on the backside of this trend, as you can see. But can we continue to climb higher? Most definitely. I mean, Microsoft is strong. Apple now heading towards that opening price as well, too. Intel price spike.
Yeah, something's happening with Intel.
Let's pull up INTC here for it. I'll get Shreve. I know he's been going on a while, so I'll cover this one here on INTC. Oh, wow. Okay, up 5% here on the day, and big volume spike here, guys. So there is a potential for an ad here, or sorry, not an ad, an entry. Right? So what we see now is we have that breakout volume. We got it, this pullback now. We want that volume to be low and it to be sustained through a potential next move. So be careful with this one. It's a lower price stock. I don't often trade Intel. I'm not very good at trading it from an intraday standpoint. But one thing to note, I do like this breakout volume. And if you're looking for a continuation of the trend, wait for that pullback, wait for price to turn around once again, and then you can add or enter the position. But we got Tommy White, $5 super chat. Sleepy time knockouts. Yes, exactly. Love doing it. Hypercube says, go jujitsu, brother. Come train in LA. I've never been to LA and I want to go really bad. Yeah, man. I've never
Let me know when you go, bro. I've got many connections down there because of my sister.
Oh,
and I go there every year. Yeah.
What's the big highway down
405?
there? The coastal one?
PCH, Pacific Coast Highway.
I just want to just rent a nice car and just drive down that.
Take that bad boy from Malibu all the way down to like San Clemente, where Orange County is. Just take. It's going to take you several hours.
LA traffic there, but hey, man, we got time, man. The ocean right there, one with nature. I never told you this. I don't know if I told you that. So I used to go to camp when I was a kid, and I used to do like long canoe trips, like 2 weeks on the river, weeks on the river.
You did tell me something about this.
So I was thinking about that the other day. The times of my life for sure. And I have a backstory. Sorry, we're gonna get into trading. So, anyways, we go down rapids in Ottawa, right? We're trading, we're canoeing and everything along those guys. And I was a younger kid, and I had this guy he was in the front. I would steer the canoe. His name was Mikey. I'll never forget him. Couldn't tell you what he looked like. Anyways, we hit for all my canoeists, kayakers, we hit a pillow rock.
Okay.
It upsets our canoe.
Oh.
Right? So now I'm in a rapid, going down with a canoe. Our canoe's upset, all our materials out and everything. And his head is trapped under the canoe. His body's trapped under the canoe, but his head's on the other side of it. And we're going through it, and he's drowning in front of me. Yeah. He's drowning in front of me, like legit. So I'm on the side of the canoe holding onto it as we go down this rapid. His head's just bobbing underwater, and he's drowning. So what do? I grab to the canoe, and I lift the canoe. And as I lift it, my knee hits a rock underwater. And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't think of it as much. But then once water cooled down and everything, I go and I sit on a rock that was sitting on top of, like, the water just slowly peaked, and I can see my kneecap. Yeah. So I had a big gash in my kneecap, right in the middle of nowhere, dude. Yeah. So I'm telling you, so I saved his life. So I'll never forget that story. And then I obviously got some wounds from it, but he was like literally drowning. But let's see what it tears up to, guys. Yeah.
Crazy, man.
I looked into Intel. I'm not seeing anything, not much social media attention either. I just wanted to give you guys an update. INTC, I'm on the lookout, but nothing that I can see on this story as of right now. There's no story to speak of. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. That's a crazy story, dude. I mean, obviously good on you for doing that. And I'm assuming you didn't feel the pain because of the adrenaline.
No, I didn't feel it at first.
I mean, you're trying to save the dude's life,
and then
right?
Then after, once I sat on the rock and I looked at it, because I thought I just scraped my knee, and then I looked at it and I'm like, oh, that's bone.
Oh my God. Oh my. So you saw the bone?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was deep, bro. It was deep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Oh no, I don't even want to say it because I don't want to jinx myself. But yeah, I don't think I've had an injury like that. But you never know, man.
It was deep.
There's a first for everything. So, yeah. All right, Joseph. Hopefully not.
Yeah. You don't want a first to that.
Hopefully not. Guys. Hopefully not. All right, guys. We're weaseling back into CISO. It makes a big boy break of $1.52. It's coming in back into that 10 exponential moving average. So I'm looking for a hold at essentially $1.40 at that 10 EMA. We've got 143s on. It's at 143, so we're break even. Looking at wetting the beak at 144, and then we're layering the orders right above that. So keeping my eye on this one. WULF has almost done nothing since getting back into that at 47s. It's rejected 60s, and it's kind of moving back down. Alas, it's still much higher than the volume weighted average price, so no reason for me to get out. But SOUN takes out 11 like it doesn't even matter. Now, my observation of SOUN is it's stair-stepping. Case in point, that 1070 area of resistance, it clears it, goes up to 1090, then uses 1070 as support. And that's where we got in. Now, if that pattern is to continue, then we should be using 1090 now as support, as it was previously resistance. So if we range here, maybe between 1110 and 1090, I don't know what the top end of the range is going to be, but the money fills, in my observation so far with how SoundHound has been trading, is going to be around that, 10 mid 90s, 10 low 90s. So let's set up a dip trade here. There's about 15 minutes left on the show. Let's see if we can get something in the 10 mid-90s. I'm going to put 10.95s, and then I don't mind dollar cost averaging into the low 90s there if we do get that. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Let's go back now into CISO, looking for that beak wetter at 44s. It's at 44s. Alas, it's not crossing, so we're going to have to wait for an entry on that one as it zigs and zags with the current level that I'm in. Ali Anwar, excuse me. Sharif, Joseph, check QBTS short interest. Crazy squeeze.
No way,
up.
it's not moving to the top side.
I know you were in that earlier. I'm just going to tell the short interest, 22.15% on a float of around 287 million shares. That could be up to 14 days old, so I'm not exactly sure what it is currently, but that's the latest data point I have. What is the look on that?
No, yeah, it's moving to the downside. And I was telling everybody on the floor here, it was a weird scenario. So on Friday, I just went for a walk, and I went and grabbed a salad at a local restaurant, and this guy beside me just started talking about QBTS in the market. Anyways, I'm not going to get into in depth with it here, but I was looking for a continuation of the long
Just
side.
give us that.
I told you guys.
I told the boys.
Did I? I didn't tell you that? I swear I told you, no?
Me?
Yeah. And I swear
Remind me.
No,
You
so
told me a lot of stories,
I'm at on Friday. I'm at Joey's right there at Eaton Center.
Then you didn't definitely tell me this because I didn't see you. Since Friday
Okay,
till
so
this day.
yeah. So anyways, I'm sitting down there eating a salad, and this guy's like on his phone talking like $250,000, saying billion this, billion that. Anyways, I'm just sitting there, and he goes, hey, "You're dressed nice." I'm like, "Thanks, man. I appreciate that." He's like, "What do you do?" So I tell him, and then he starts talking to me, and he shows me his phone. He's like, "Yeah, you see this?" And he shows me QBTS. And that's what Katina Man was trading the day before.
Sure.
And he's like, "Yeah, do you see why it moved in price?" He's like, "Yeah, my firm was buying like millions and millions of shares of it, right?" So he hands me his card, etc. It's either this guy was telling the complete truth or he's the biggest BSer.
Did you look into the company?
We got I have the card. Neil and Brankles looked into the company. Yeah, I looked a little, and so did Adara. It was honestly a little sketchy.
Oh, yeah?
But yeah, it was just so random because I was just sitting there minding my own business.
Adara, did you do a deep dive?
Okay, I actually did.
Get it.
Joe was there for it. So here's my thing. My theory is the man is real because I did find the man's name. However, my theory is the man that approached Joe is not the man that
on the card.
That was my theory because I showed Joe his X account. I said, "This looks like the guy. Is it the guy?" He said, "No, there was a different website than the website Joe had." So I think this might be a bit of an imposter situation just based on my limited deep dive.
Thank you, Adara.
Yeah,
she does deep dives,
there
bro,
you
and
go.
she watches a lot of these crime shows, man. I wouldn't stand against that.
Yeah, it was definitely a different scenario. So I was like, And as I'm leaving, he's like, "Keep in touch, dude."
There you go.
I've known you for 5 minutes, but sure.
Sure, whatever.
Why not?
He's telling you, well, clearly you guys overlap a little bit in interest there. I mean, obviously you're trading in markets. This company is obviously involved in the markets.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
some English.
Oh yeah. Well, then he's definitely
get into more depth. He was telling me that he was he worked on Wall Street for like 20 years. He's good friends with like the Prince of Monaco, like Prince Albert or something like that. So it's like as we dive into this, I'm like,
I thought you were going to tell me a Nigerian prince.
No.
But pumped for that.
The thing is, though, you got to take this into consideration. From the time we started talking to the time we finished talking, which is a span of 10, 15 minutes, you probably had about 5 or 6 pints in that time, in that duration. So I don't know how like
people
legit.
Always. People never exaggerate when they're drinking.
Yeah. So I don't know about that one.
No, I mean, stop trading. Well, bro, we're not even trading it. Calm down there, Adrian.
No, look at this Joey Jabs here. We gotta go to the channel.
Joey Jabs. Yeah. I love this. That's sick. It's more like Joey Straight, bro. That was a straight right hand. It was a little looper.
Joey
I like that, man. I like that. Good look there.
Right, thank you.
We played the boxing video, Katina, man, of Joseph dropping that next guy right there. That's why some of these comments are coming in. All right, guys, here we go. We've got CISO on, looking for that hold up at the 10 exponential, and I'm basically beyond that. This was obviously a price action support level as well. I'm talking about this general area over here, $1.40, $1.30, $1.42, give or take. So anything below $1.35, it's going to be the end of the trade for me on this because I'm in it for that area hold. So we're going to go ahead and throw in our stop there, and we're going to be a bit more precise with how we throw these stops after what happened with INHD. Single-handedly wiped me out on the day as a result of that blown through stop. So that's my mistake, and we hopefully won't do that again. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Wolf is coming down in a way that I don't think I like, especially with about 10 minutes left on the show, so we'll flatten out that trade there. The one that I'm looking at getting into, and the one that I don't mind monitoring while I'm at the green screen, is going to be SOUN. I really like that 1090 level as an area of support. Apparently, it did dip down, but I didn't get printed, means it didn't cross, so I'm looking at 1095, then 1092. I'm looking for the money fills around this level. Now, it's not giving it to me quite yet. SOUN has been a really good trade on the day. It's still got a higher short float, up 23% above that whole dollar level. We'll see for how long. I do worry, though, about a possible double top at around, 11 mid-teens, 1120s. We already rejected that area earlier in the day at around 11 o'clock. So we'll see if this one wants to come back down and give us a fill. So SOUN, looking at working into that, but already involved in CISO. We'll see if this one wants to continue moving up on the day. I'm just looking at my blotter over here because you guys continue to ask about Intel. I'm not seeing anything to account for that price spike, but there doesn't have to be. Right? There can just be a sell imbalance there, and it's right back into normal trading. INTC is the ticker I'm talking about. It's up 4.58% with that 2267 high, but since printing that 2267 high, it's gotten right back into that higher low, higher high situation, and that outlying print is now kind of behind us, at least for the moment. We'll see if we can get back up there. So CSIO, the only one I'm involved in, just having a look at my scanner on the top screen over here to see if there's any new ones. MLGO, not micro algo. I know you guys were yelling about this earlier, but I was I don't know what we were doing. We were doing something. MLGO, great breakout trade right now from what I'm seeing. Let's have a look at this one on the 5. Yeah, very directional, very stair step up. 333 high a day. Most of the prints, underline that most, not all, have been respecting the 10 EMA on the 5 for now. Kind of looks bull flaggish with a higher low situation, maybe a flat top through that 333, 335. It does look like it's setting up for a continuation of that bull flag. We'll have to see how MLGO does, up 40%, Adara.
Just as Sharif said, I don't have anything more on Intel, but I have some news here on SATS. That is EchoStar Corporation. Apparently, the FCC is going to be investigating the company's compliance with requirements to building nationwide 5G networks. So some compliance investigations on watch here for SATS. Right now, sending the stock, as you can tell here, pretty sharply to the downside. We've dropped almost $3 from when this backslide began. Back to you.
I remember this EchoStar company. Remember those huge satellite dishes from like the 90s, the big black ones that you put in your backyard that move? Yeah, so that company, I remember we got that for like the ethnic channels, and my parents did anyway at their house. And like you had to move the dish from one satellite to the other. It was crazy. There was a company called EchoStar that like dominated all the satellites back when it was analog. So that's every time I hear that company, I just associate it with those times. But those were good times, Joseph.
Those were good times.
Could unscramble those channels like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was a good world.
IPTV these days.
IPTV, look, it's good, but it's subject to attacks.
Oh, attack.
Yeah. They're constantly under attack.
Oh, are they?
Because it's free market, right?
Okay, there you go. So there you go.
That's the way it is there.
All right, I don't have IPTV then.
Yeah, you didn't say anything last week about getting IPTV. Nothing was said about that.
Guilty.
Hey, all right. Anything you got on your side, my man?
Yeah, we're still cooking up in this TQs here, guys. We don't have much left, really. We're out of NVDL. I mean, it kind of just grabbed me here. I should have waited a little bit longer, but I was just like, let me lock in. But it's still continuing to climb, so shout out to NVDA. But that's choppy. That's tough to sit through. Apple now through that 210 resistance that we were seeing earlier today, Sharif. So looking really good. Trading right around opening price here, guys. So that is Apple and NVDA. Bring it back to the TQs because that's what we're still sitting in. I think Katina Man's still long TQs as well. So yeah, let's cook up. I mean, it's been a solid. I shouldn't say that because I was really red on the day, but I did chip away at about over 90% of those losses. So yeah, we'll be patient, wait for another opportunity to arise, and maybe we can catch another momentum play. I think there's still going to be those opportunities in the day. You can see the volume profile starting to pick up here on Apple. That's a positive sign as we push through that 210 strike where we've seen the most amounts of liquidity. So heading into that pre-market lows, and I think the top of the shelf is going to be that next target around 211 here, guys. So there you go. Volume really starting to kick in as you run in through some key resistance resistance levels, and that's exactly what you want to see. Sharif mentioned this wedge here, and we've now broken the top of it, so really, really good look. Let's see if we can continue to climb here in AAPL. We know that it was getting beaten to a pulp with the likes of Google as well. So here you go. You can see we're running into some key daily resistance zones, a big gap up. Just be cautious in case we do decide to fill up this downside gap. That's one thing I'm going to be keeping an eye out for. And it's unfortunate that I guess not everybody, kind of the fear is starting to slowly decay out of the market. Let's pull up some Bitcoin, because I know people are starting to flock to that, but it doesn't seem to be the case today. It's not participating with the overall market. I mean, for the past 2 weeks, it's been on an absolute monster run, and this pullback is totally justifiable. It is gone borderline parabolic. I think this is what I was thinking about Sharif's and I's bet. If we close in the high teens, like 17, 18 by the end of the week, I think that you can hit that 125 by your birthday, but we have to close into the teens. I think that's just kind of the thesis I'm going with.
100% agree with
that.
Yeah, that's got to get above that double top.
Yeah, you got to get above that, right, and establish some new highs. So a pullback here is justifiable. I'm okay with it. A nice healthy breath, even if you go down 1 to 2%. Look for buyers to step back in and bring price higher, and I think that's going to be the move. Will it be by Sharif's birthday? I'm not too sure, but I think in the near future we are going to break those all-time highs. Sharif.
All right, guys, just a quick review here. Polestar, a company that I've been invested in for a while. This is kind of like my hope for a 10-bagger. I'm long at 87 pennies. Where is it long? It's at $1.10. It's been holding $1, I'd say the better part of the last few months. On occasion, it drops below it. So they did report earnings. Still losing money, as a lot of these EVs are, but they did report an 84% jump in first quarter revenue from last year. So they narrowed their net loss down to 190 million. They lost about 276 million this time last year. Revenue did almost double, $330 million in revenue they made last year, about $608 million they minted this year. Retail sales also of its cars almost doubled as well. So they delivered about a little bit less than 7,000 cars last year, about 6,975. And this year on the quarter, they delivered 12,304. So still definitely a company that is very nascent, very new, not profitable, and still subject possibly to tariffs. That's the bad side of the equation. The good side is they've got a South Carolina plant where they plan on producing the majority of the cars that they sell in North America. And so that will obviously help skirt tariffs. Now we'll have to see if the auto parts that they use can also be tariff-free, because we know that's not going to be the case going forward with a lot of these other companies. Case in point, Tesla bringing a substantial amount of their parts both from Mexico and China. So they're obviously subject to some headwinds there. So Polestar, obviously, in case you don't know about Polestar, it's owned by Volvo, and then Volvo is owned by Geely in China. So technically, it's when you follow it all the way back to the root, it's a Chinese company. Polestar is owned by, it gets convoluted. It's a joint venture between Geely and Volvo, even though Geely owns Volvo, the majority of it anyway. So interesting look there. The reason I got involved with this company, not because I love the cars, I don't even actually like them. I just see a lot of these cars on the road, and I mean a lot. Second only to Tesla in Toronto. So my thinking was, if it picks up, here in a city where, we're very kind of American style, hustle and bustle, this, that, and the other, maybe it catches some steam. That was my thinking. I don't happen to like the car. The Polestar 2. Now they've got some other nice ones that are much more expensive. The one that, is kind of, I want to say, affordable to the masses is the 2. The 1 is a coupe, which is very expensive. The 3 is kind of like an SUV. Crossover, likewise with the 4. Those are prohibitively expensive, but over $100,000 if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, definitely need I mean, they already have an entry level, the Polestar 2, but that's what I meant there, guys, about the general mass adoption is going to have to be a bit of a cheaper car, obviously, so that there's more mass adoption of it. So Scott Tomlinson, my brother, loves this stock. I know VW get involved. Not sure how they are doing. Stopped following them. Yeah, I don't keep my eye on VW all that much. I know it's traded on the OTCs, but definitely not something I keep my eye on. I know Randy does, obviously, because he's got a Porsche, and they're obviously intertwined there. I don't like Polestar either, says DM Babeful. Yeah, it's okay. They've got some decent models. It's not my favorite. I personally wouldn't buy one. But there are people clearly, who like. There's 3 people on my street that have them. They're all different colors too. David Jiang, who even buys a Polestar? Go to their demo room. Their recycled plastic leather seats get wrinkles and chips everywhere. Not durable at that price tag. Fair enough, man. Your opinion. I respect it. Let's see what else people are saying over there. Bob the dog. I like how Polestar has only 1 car, but they're really not very good cars. That's not accurate, brother. They got 4 different cars. So there's the 1, 2, 3, and 4. The one that you'll see a lot is the 2, and that's the one that I see often as well. That is the more affordable sedan, and it's the more entry-level vehicle, but they've got plenty of other cars there. Is Polestar a Volvo Peyton skeleton? Yeah, technically it's owned by Volvo. I know a lot of design overlaps here, so I can see why you'd say that. There's a lot of similarities between both the Volvo EVs and the Polestar EVs, as there should be. They take advantage of economies of scale. Oh my God, he's in the chat.
No, he's not.
Big smile, Burdette, my man.
This guy is actually hilarious.
I love it. I met a few Polestars in my day. Well said. I think even Adara can appreciate that pun, right? Oh, someone hit the fail.
Fail?
Baby.
It means match. He left.
Jakob Mark, $2 super chat. Joe, I sent you a big trade on X Couch
Capital.
Special. Oh my God.
All right, let me see if we can find it. We're here. We're going overtime today. I want to see what this trade is
The big
for these guys. I didn't see it. You didn't message it to me or anything along those lines, so I don't
I think he sent it. Maybe it's in the junk or something. You have to check there, bro.
I don't know how to even do that.
All right,
guys,
boys
man.
and girls and ladies and gentlemen, it is 2:01:45, and it is now the big kahunas. As you can see, that handsome-looking gentleman on the left and the handsome-looking gentleman on the right, Sean Katina. They got their new logos right there, baby. Shout out to the Chilean Nightmare who's been working overtime on this.
Guys, long the whole market. Let's go.
Killing it, bro. The Katina man is long. I love it. Yeah, the Katina man does his thing, baby. All right, Joseph, send him off, baby.
All right. I mean, a great day, guys. It's Monday. Love Mondays. Go outside and enjoy, especially if you had a solid session.
Take care, guys.
There we go.
Thank you, everybody. It just occurred. I didn't even realize you were wearing the IEX hoodie. I thought
sponsored.
Well, I thought we were